We welcome you to week number 4 of the high school football season, and tonight we have another great rivalry game for you on, of course, Toyota's Friday Night Rivals. We welcome you to Hilliard tonight as the Davidson Wildcats get set to take on their cross-district rivals, the Panthers from Hilliard Darby. So glad to have you with us here on this Friday evening with Ohio State Hall of Fame running back Jeff Logan, and on the sidelines, Kellyanne Stitz. I'm Marty Bannister. Jeff, last week we saw a great rivalry game out in Pickerington, and wouldn't you know it, we're right back in store for another great rivalry game.
Yeah, right where we should be. You know how much I like these rivalry games, and this is also a throwback game because these two teams will do the very basic fundamentals. Throw the ball only when you have to, but try and run it down your throat.
Let's break down these two teams, and we'll start with the visitors from Darby. The biggest change they made in the offseason was right at the top. They went out and got one of Central Ohio's most successful high school coaches to run their program. Brad Birchfield takes over. And to turn things around at Darby, they've already won more games than they did last season. He's relying on Logan Crooner.
Well, they've had a very good transition. Coach brought his entire staff from Hartley High School over here. That helps in the transition. But this young man, Logan Crooner, a tight end, defensive end, just a junior, he is a monster on the field, offensively and defensively. Marty, a game record.
Davidson is the oldest of the 3 schools in this district, and they have the richest history, which includes a couple of state championships. In order to get back to that level, head coach Jeremy Scally is counting on a guy who he feels is one of the best players on his team, and that's at your favorite position, Jeff, the running back spot, Dane Schmidt.
And what a surprise. At Davidson, the running back is going to be the key guy. That takes you all the way back to the Brian White days. This kid averages 7.2 yards every time he touches the ball, 5 touchdowns. They'll get into what's called 32 personnel, and without getting too technical, that's 3 running backs, 2 tight ends. Everybody in the world knows what you're going to do, and it doesn't matter.
It should be a fun one tonight. The ball will be on the ground a lot in tonight's game. It's Darby, it's Davidson. We have it for you coming up next. This is Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by D.R. Horton. Walking up the steps, some guy goes, "Why is NASCAR on?"
Said what?
Why is NASCAR on?
Oh, jeez.
Not my call, sir. Sorry.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check 1 2 3. I can hear you. Oh, wait, no, Dean, I can't live without you. I didn't hear that part.
In the pipe, 5 by 5. Hello, 54321, 54321.
And 54321.
To receive for Darby, number 8, Jackson Hutman, and number 18, Corey Jackson.
A pair of 2-1 teams meet, Davidson and Darby. Let's check out tonight's coin toss, brought to you by, of course, Hilliard Lawn and Garden, the proud sponsor of tonight's coin toss for this intra-district matchup between Hilliard Davidson and Hilliard Darby. Both teams enter at 2-1. Davidson wins the opening toss. They have deferred, and the football will belong to Hilliard Darby to get things started. Before we get to this evening's kickoff, let's go down to the true star of our show on the sidelines, Kellyanne Stitz.
Marty Davidson head coach Jeremy Scally calls these games against their district rivals water tower game. There's a water tower that sits in the middle of the town, serving as a beacon of inspiration to rule Hilliard. The Wildcats even earn a water tower decal if they beat both of their Hilliard rivals. Now, Darby is one win away from ruling Hilliard, while Davidson hopes to take one step towards that season goal tonight.
Kellyanne, thank you very much. Back deep to receive the opening kick for Hilliard Darby. To the far side is Jackson Huffman, and to the near side, Torrey Jackson Jr. Avery Browning, one of the best kickers in Central Ohio, gets set to boot the football away, and we are ready for Davidson and Darby meeting here this evening. We're not going to do it just yet, but it's coming here in a moment. Kick formation by Davidson.
And this is the first home game of the season for Hilliard Davidson. 3 in a row on the road to start the season.
Kick sails into the end zone, so it will come out, and Darby will get the football to start the game here tonight in this matchup between these two rivals. They meet here in week number 4 of the season, the overall series, led by Davidson, 12-6. And last year when the two teams met, Davidson rolled to a 43-7 victory.
You know, the opposite of that home and away thing is that these Hilliard Darby Panthers opened their first 3 games at home, and then they go on the road now for 3 in a row, beginning with tonight against Davidson.
Is it really fair to call it going on the road, though, when you stay in the district? Not a 10-minute trip. Darby with the football. Jonah Marsh, the 6'2", 195-pound junior, operates the offense for Brad Birchfield. And when you know they're going to run, try a little trickeration to get it started. And they hand the football off. And firing the pass upfield is Amir Al-Ani, a 5'10" sophomore, who took that toss and then rolled to the far side of the field, delivered ahead, and just like that, Brad Birchfield digs into his bag of tricks, and the Darby Panthers get a first down out to the 35.
You know, this is a statement because this team has only thrown the ball 12 times all season long, and here they come out on the first play of the game with a little bit of sugar, with the wide receiver coming across, getting the ball, throwing it downfield, and Cameron Drake doing a good job at that safety position, Marty, not getting sucked in on what looked like it was going to be a running play.
They want to get the ball in the hands of the individual who caught the ball just a moment ago, Jackson Huffman. He's their top receiver. That was his 8th catch of the season. On first down and 10, Darby will go back to the more conventional style. They'll run the football. That was Cohen Cornegay with his first catch. That first down, oh, by the way, sponsored by Buckeye State Bank. As we get it started here tonight, we are 35 seconds in. Here is the Darby offense. We talked about Jackson Huffman a moment ago. Jeff told you a lot about Logan Crooner in the open. The quarterback, Jonah Marsh, is a guy that Brad Birchfield says he looks like an OCC quarterback. Hasn't quite developed into that style of a quarterback yet, but he's going to get there. 6'2", 195-pound junior. Second down and 4 after the gain of 6. Darby with the football as we get started tonight here in Hilliard. Handoff inside, and not much running room at all that time for the Darby running back. As getting first touch of the night was the fullback, Braylon Griffith, a 5'10", 210-pound junior, who coming into the night, 308 yards on the season, Mr. Logan. I dropped a mister in there early
Thank
on.
you very much. They're very good at those running back positions. And you were talking about quarterback Jonah Marsh. Interesting story. The former coach here, John Santagata, a Hall of Fame coach by all measures, had a record of 113-68, told Brad Birchfield, we don't have a quarterback on our roster. They had to go to Jonah Marsh, who was an offensive lineman in 2014, and he is really developing into a solid quarterback, and looked like there may have been motion there before the play got started, or a timeout.
Hilliard Darby.
Bo Bollinger, our referee, telling us that Darby will use a quick timeout here early on in this game. We are, again, a little over a minute into this one here tonight. Let's check the defense of the Davidson Wildcats. That timeout again brought to you by the Ohio State Highway Patrol. Davidson comes into the game. What they do well is take the football away. They've got 4 interceptions this season, this defense, as well as a couple of sacks. And there you see that defense. Forrest Griffin is the guy to keep an eye on at that linebacker spot, the leading tackler with 26 on the season. Jeremy Scally says, quite simply, he's the heart and soul of our defense, the glue. He makes all the calls of this Davidson defense. Tonight's keys to the game, and they are brought to you by Toyota. For Darby, it's run the ball like we've been doing. Win the line of scrimmage. We've already seen them try to get a little tricky early on to get Davidson on their heels defensively, but they have to win that line of scrimmage. And Jeremy Scally said earlier in the week, his team has been kind of stuck in neutral at times this year. It's a senior-laden team. They have a lot of experience coming back, but sometimes they just can't find the right gear. The key, try to find it tonight. Handoff to Huffman, trying to sweep to the near side on almost a jet sweep type action. And Huffman is spun down as he got shy of the 45-yard line. And, Jeff, again, as we saw, Brad Birchfield feels Jackson Huffman is one of their best players, and already they're trying hard to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, they're going to have a 4th and 1 situation at the 44-yard line, and you can see pressure very early on the play, but what a good job in the backfield by Jackson Huffman. Looks like they're going for it on 4th down. Not one bit surprised. The analytics would tell you that you go for it in this situation.
From a momentum standpoint in a game of this magnitude, the rivalry, I think this is a pretty good call. You want to show your kids you have confidence in them. Toss to Cornegay, trying to sweep the side, gets the first down and spins out near the midfield stripe out to the 48-yard line. Little turn as he turned the corner and gets the first down, and the Darby drive will continue.
What a real good block by the right tackle that time. Tyson Keys, number 71, 6'2", 290, a senior. Watch him on the right side. He is blocking down, and he clears out the entire defensive line. Excellent job by that young man.
Ball just shy of the midfield stripe for Hilliard Darby. Brad Birchfield, the head coach, in his first year. I think that offseason move kind of caught a few people by surprise in the area who follow high school football. Rolling his march to the near side, got a yard, and then steps out of bounds, shy of the midfield stripe. But in talking to Coach Birchfield earlier in the week, good tackle there by Forrest Griffin leading the way for the Darby defense.
Yeah, Forrest Griffin is really a solid football player. You see him spying the quarterback the entire time. They feel he's the heart and soul of that defense.
Brad Birchfield saying that this was a perfect fit for him and the style he likes to play. Brought his entire staff with him from Hartley and felt this was the perfect place. He would have been really hard-pressed to go anywhere else. Cornegay with the handoff, middle of the field, and here comes that Davidson defense racing in. Cormac Snyder, the safety, shot the gap and got there right away to blow that play up. That play will get right back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
Boy, just penetration from the get-go there by the defensive side. Watch the right side of your screen. Unblocked, coming right up the middle. That Giovanni Barr, or 45, excuse me, Jake Lawrence.
The end, yeah.
What a really good play by him. They believe that this kid is just absolutely old school, throwback kind of a player, and really has an intense motor out there on the football field.
3rd down and 10, ball just shy of the 48. Marsh to throw, far side, and the pass sails incomplete, and that'll bring up a 4th down, and we'll see what Brad Birchfield's mindset is here on a 4th down and long call, 4th and 10.
That's an uncomfortable situation, Marty, for that football team to be 4th or 3rd and 9. They're not built for that. Really, the critical thing for both sides, because they run the ball so effectively, is to make sure that they have positive yardage on 1st down. They don't want to leave these 3rd and longs because neither team likes to throw the football.
Back deep, Marcus Theall to return the punt of Darby. On to kick the football away for the Panthers is Arthur D. Alameda. And this kick will bounce inside the 10, and a great kick. It checks up at about the 6-yard line, and Darby's coverage team down there in a hurry that time, led by Dylan Santagata, the son of the former head coach, John Santagata. A good job for Brad Birchfield's team, and Davidson will start 1st down and 10 inside their own 10-yard line.
Coach Birchfield speaking with his wingback, Jude Johnson. They think a lot about that young man. He's a terrific player, but Hilliard Davidson's going to get their first touches of the game. And Marty, one thing that we have noticed is that there are some changes in that offensive line we'll talk about. Here's your starting quarterback, Josh de Blasio, 20 out of 43, over 200 yards, just 1 touchdown and 2 picks.
His brother Johnny ran the offense for a number of years here. Different style quarterbacks, but Josh may be a tad bit better of an athlete, according to Jeremy Scally. First play from scrimmage is a handoff. No surprise there, as the play carried for a yard or two. The Davidson offense, there's a good look at that. Caden Wyndham's a guy at the wideout spot, Jeff, that a playmaker, much like we saw with Jackson Huffman on the other side of the ball. Wyndham's a guy that Josh DeBlasio is going to try and get the ball to whenever he can. Bruce Abel, the tight end, is another good target for this Davidson offense. But the key is running the football, and that starts with Dane Schmidt.
Absolutely.
No gain, second down and 10. Clock rolls under the 8-minute mark here at Davidson High School. Always one of our favorite stops on our Toyota Friday Night Rivals. Blasio, the quarterback keeper, gets out to the 10-yard line. That's a name that's been manning that quarterback spot now for the last 4 years here at Hilliard Davidson. Get a look at the Darby defense, which comes in allowing opponents 279 yards a game. Jeff talked about Logan Crooner in the open. Braylon Gribbs at the linebacker spot, another good one.
Crooner, one of those few guys that plays both ways, a tight end on the offensive side, and they are loaded with experience. Hilliard Davidson is on the offensive side, but Marty, they're starting a couple sophomores at the tackles tonight.
They're down and 7. De Blasio's back to throw, has a clean pocket, will launch it near side, and the pass is caught near the 40-yard line and knocked out of bounds is Ibrahim Zalabani. His second reception of the season, and it's a first down for Davidson as the ball carries out shy of the 40-yard line. In fact, they're going to say, did he get to the 40? We'll see where they spot him out of bounds. He did get to the 40, a gain of 30.
Yeah, perfect job that time, and you can see how wide open he was. Good closing move by the safety, Cedric Holman, to get over there to knock him out of bounds. 3 receivers running deep routes. They were in cover 2, which is 2 deep safeties. Do the math, Marty. 2 deep safeties, 3 wide receivers. That doesn't work very well. And what the receivers have to do is make sure they stay in their lane to keep separation from those 2 defensive backs.
Jeff talked about the changes at tackle. Tell you more in a moment. Here's a pass to Wyndham, and he has spun into Darby territory. Oliver Huff gets the call tonight at the right guard spot. Huff, a 6 foot, 284-pound sophomore, and then getting the call tonight at the left tackle spot is Griffin Fraker, a 6'4", 278-pound sophomore. So some changes up front for Davidson. Liam Dalton moves over to the right tackle spot. Noah Wellman's out tonight. Lucas Benner was scheduled to start at left tackle. He is out of the game tonight as well, too. So a couple of their big guys up front not seeing action this evening. First down and 10, the ball just into Darby territory at the 49. Wyndham sprints in motion. De Blasio will fire it to him, and he'll try to turn the edge and gets to the 45 of Darby and is wrestled down right around the 41-yard line. Might have stepped inside the 40. He did to the 39, and that is close to another Davidson first down.
Boy, really good work here. This goes as a running play. This is not a pass completion. That ball was thrown backwards. That time that will be a run. I'm sitting here going, what the heck is going on in Davidson football? They're putting the ball in the air. Poor Brian White is rolling over wherever he is tonight. Holy smokes.
It was good enough for a first down to the 39. The first down sponsored by Buckeye State Bank. I'm sure he's out with Bo Rugg somewhere watching a football game tonight. Here's a little toss to the near side, and this is Schmidt. Finds a gap and accelerates through it, and he breaks free, and he will saunter into the end zone. Touchdown, 39 yards out. Oh, how about the acceleration, then the celebration by Dane Schmidt. Touchdown, Davidson.
Boy, that's like having a Ferrari and just stepping on that extra gear and saying, no way you're going to touch me. Good blocking at the point of attack, but it's up to the running back to get to that second level. You can see good block out front. Really a nice job set up by the offensive line, and boy, that is just running that ball north and south, and what a terrific run by Dane Schmidt.
That's another D.R. Horton touchdown. D.R. Horton is America's builder. Boy, and Schmidt, he just shot through that gap in a heartbeat, and that was over almost a second, Jeff. He got through that hole.
It looked like everything was just going to close behind him, and then he made it look like everybody else was running in mud. He just was able to take it and accelerate.
Avery Browning on to try the extra point. Former soccer player, was honorable mention All-Ohio Division I last year. Snap a bit high. The hold is down. The kick is on the way. And the kick by Browning is up, and it is good. He is a perfect 10 for 10 this season. The 5:18 mark of quarter number 1 is where we have our first points. Dane Schmidt rumbles into the end zone. Davidson 7, Darby nothing. This is Toyota's Friday Night Rivals presented by D.R. Horton.
This is a Toyota Grand Highlander, Toyota took the best-selling Highlander and made it bigger, more powerful, and more fuel efficient.
With your choice of 3 different powertrains, with a driving range of nearly 600 miles. And you gotta love the 12.3-inch touchscreen.
The big news is right back here, with over 20 cubic feet of cargo space.
Behind a full-size third row.
Lease a new 25 Highlander for $499 a month or get 4.75 APR financing on Grand Highlander.
Toyota, let's go places.
Thanks to Kroger Great Lakes Distribution Center, tonight's game is streaming live on the ABC6 YouTube channel, the ABC6 Facebook page, the ABC6 News app, and as well on the CWColumbus.com. We welcome you back to Davidson. The Wildcats strike first in their battle with the Darby Panthers. 7-0 is the score in favor of Hilliard Davidson. Dane Schmidt with the touchdown run, his 6th of the season. He had 7 last year for the Davidson offense, led by head coach Jeremy Scally. Coming in at 2-1, their one loss was a heartbreaker to Canal Winchester. We'll tell you more about that, how that game played itself out. And that's one that Jeremy Scally has kind of pointed at this season as to, we mentioned earlier how his team has been kind of stuck in neutral. That's a big one that they've talked about. Here's Browning's kick. This will be Huffman straddling the goal line and is in the end zone, so the ball will come out to the 20. And that's where the Darby offense will come onto the field down 7-0. It's the Battle of Ohio tomorrow, as the Ohio Bobcats and the Ohio State Buckeyes battle out at the Horseshoe, and the Football Fever on ABC6 is the perfect play to get you ready for kickoff. Watch the Football Fever tomorrow morning at 11. It's only on ABC6. Who are you rooting for tomorrow, Jeff?
Team from Ohio. We'll have some fun with that tonight.
Ball's out to the 20.
I
think so.
My partner here, Marty Bannister, is the radio voice of the Ohio University Bobcats.
And off the corner, trying to get through the hole on the right side, and he was greeted rudely as he started in. Beckett Evans there on the tackle. Down to the sidelines, and another great Bobcat, Kellyanne Stitz.
Marty, we just saw how explosive Dane Schmidt can be at running back, but when in my conversation with Coach Kelly this week, he said, let me tell you about Dane Schmidt, the kid, first. He's a dog. He gives 100% of his effort in everything he does, and Coach Scally awards his guys with a decal influenced by a school I won't say for the sake of Jeff Logan, but it stands for TED, T-E-D. They're every day, and any guy who wears that decal on his helmet signals that they could be counted on every day. And he said, if Dane Schmidt, if there was a captain of the Teds, it's Dane.
Nice counter given. There goes Cornegay to the 45. It gets into Davidson territory. Well-designed play by the Darby offense, and they rumble into Davidson territory as Colin Cornegay picks up the first down.
Yeah, terrible mistake at the end of the play. There's going to be 15 yards added on to this, and you can see Cornegay adjusting that heavy brace that he's wearing on that right knee. Pay attention to that as we go along, but it certainly didn't seem to impede his progress at all on the play. But this is going to turn out to be even a bigger play, as it's going to be 15 yards going the other direction.
After the play, personal foul, defense, number 11. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
So, Jeff, we're tacking 15 yards onto the 33-yard run because of what happened at the end of this play.
Yeah, a little delay in the backfield, and look at the moves that he's able to put on there. And you can see the contact made. I almost feel like Cameron Drake didn't know where he was on the field, because this is uncharacteristic of that young man to be able to take a mistake like that. That gets him inside the 30-yard line, or post it right at the 30-yard line.
Cameron Drake, a 5'9", 170-pound senior. A lot of seniors dominate that Davidson defense. Bruce Abel at the end, Jake Lawrence at the other end, Forrest Griffin at the linebacker spot, Giovanni Barr over there as well too. Handoff inside, Griffith the fullback, and he rumbles inside the 25 to about the 23 to the 22-yard line.
Again, Marty, the importance for this Darby football team getting big yardage on first down. They've got to put themselves in a position to be able to get things done. Here's take a look at Braylon Griffith, the junior running back coming into tonight. Do the math on yards per carry there. Close to 10 yards per carry. Pretty impressive for that young man.
In the opener against Lancaster, he carried the ball just 7 times but picked up a $112. And here's a big tackle as Beckett Evans was there to greet the running back starting into the hole. Cornegay with the carry, but he got flipped down rather rudely by his district school rival. And you'll watch it here.
just good penetration. Got inside edge on the right tackle. Was able to beat him into the inside. That was Tyson Keys, who we talked about earlier, who did such a great job clearing out that offensive side. That's where the battles are going to be tonight, though, Marty, is right there in the trenches.
That was the fullback Griffith on the carry that time. 7, not 6.
Oh.
And here is 6. And again, the defense rises up to meet the challenge. Giovanni Barr there again for Hilliard Davidson to help out on the tackle. And so, again, Darby facing a 4th down call as they come up short of the first down at the Davidson 23.
Yeah, Gio Barr over there, man, I'll tell you what, number 2 tackler on this football team, and look at this. Fundamentally, guys, that is outstanding. That is exactly the way you teach it. If you're going to run a clinic, you're going to say, okay, Giovanni, show him how to handle that tackle, and he does it exactly right.
4th down and 3 call coming up with the clock rolling at 2:50 to go here in quarter number 1. Darby and Davidson, the 19th all-time meeting between these two district rivals. They'll run a toss to the far side. Cornegay finds a hole, gets down the sideline, and rumbles inside the 15 towards the 10. If he got inside the 10, he's got a first down. He has it regardless. And he is down to the Davidson. See where they mark him out of bounds. We're watching here. He's doing a nice job of finding enough of a hole and just zipping right through it.
Well, he does a really good job of making people miss. And as a running back, we have this saying, be your own blocker. There are times as you're going down the field that you're going to run out of the offensive lineman. You got to take that job over yourself.
Caden Wyndham on the carry that time. That carry moves the ball into the Valley Ford of Columbus red zone. Valley Ford of Columbus, where great deals meet even greater service.
Darby 1 for 2 now on 4th down conversions.
1st and goal at the 9, Cornegay. And a lot of blue shirts are there to greet him as he got perhaps a yard, maybe 2. Line of scrimmage again was the 9. He got to the 7. At the 2-minute mark of quarter number 1.
This Davidson defense only gave up 7 points in their opener on the road at Mansfield Senior. They had a shutout last week at Miamisburg, won that game 10-0. And Marty, you're going to talk a little bit more about the game that they had at Canal Winchester. My goodness, what a crazy game that was. And that's a game that they led, 21-0 in the second quarter.
95 seconds to go, first quarter here. Darby on the move, trying to tie the game. Out of the shotgun formation. Handoff to Cornegay, who gives it to the back coming through the hole, Griffith, and he barrels towards the goal line and is brought down a yard shy. That counteraction, those are things that Brad Birchfield just loves.
He really does. I thought I was watching Hartley football all over again here. There's the fake and the inside handoff. One guy to another. Man, I'll tell you what, the timing of this thing has to be absolutely perfect, and you can see with our great picture there, that ball coming down just shy of the plane.
The center, Aiden Bucci, leads him to the line of scrimmage, 6'1", 290-pound senior. It's 3rd and goal at the 1. Now a penalty flag comes in. This may be against the offense.
Well, you don't want to make mistakes
well,
down there.
It's on the defense, it looks like, yeah.
You can't go to half the distance of nothing. I mean, there's a credit card down there. Is about you swipe defense. Your credit card here is about it.
Half the distance to the goal, still 3rd down.
Is that yours? Is that yours that's down there?
It might be.
Okay. So the ball will basically be picked up and then set right back down again. And it remains 3rd and goal.
It looks like they're set up for a little quarterback sneak with some tush-push here.
Big-time stack of the I formation behind March. Hands off to Cornegay, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown! Hilliard Darby goes right down the field and ties the game, and will attempt to tie the game with the extra point after the touchdown run by Colin Cornegay. Another D.R. Horton touchdown. D.R. Horton. They are America's builder.
Boy, this guy is thick from the waist down. You can see the drive there. He's going up right against Jake Lawrence. That's one of their best defensive players. And he was not able to stop the momentum of the 5'10", 200-pound running back.
Extra point attempt is on the way by Arthur DeAlmeida. It is good, and we are tied. Boy, does this game define Hilliard football?
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. And looks like there was a flag and may have been contact on the kicker. See if they enforce that after on the kickoff.
And our referee tonight is Bo Bollinger. He's coming over to explain it to Jeremy Scally.
See what happens here. They're all the time that they're spending talking to the Davidson side, you would think that maybe it's on Darby.
This look at the flag brought to you by the U.S. Army. Uncover your potential in the United States Army. So might be on the kick, on the kicking team, Darby.
Illegal shift. Offense. Not all 11 and set at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Retry.
So we will do it again.
All right. So instead of it being an extra point from the 10-yard line, which is a 20-yard kick, they will have a 25-yard kick.
Good look at it from our opposite end zone camera right there.
Boy, what a beautiful night for football. One of the warmest nights we've had, surprisingly, Marty. Here we are, middle of September.
You could not have asked, again, for a better night for high school football. Leaves starting to change. You can see it on the trees in the end zone. And this is one of the best settings for high school football in all of Central Ohio here at Davidson. These folks do a tremendous job, and we're always happy to visit Hilliard Davidson.
Yeah, an opening night for Davidson fans here.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it. Week 4, this is your first home game.
First home game of the season, and they were lined up waiting to get into this stadium well before they opened the gates.
We'll try the extra point attempt again. A little longer this time, 25 yards. The kick is on the way, and the kick this time also is up, and it is good. So we are now tied at 7. 42 seconds to go. Quarter number 1. Darby, Davidson, 7-7. Toyota Friday Night Rivals.
Fans, this reminder, we're all really pleased to have you here and welcome you here to Hilliard Davidson High School this evening. Sportsmanship is the primary purpose of interscholastic athletic programs. Spectators are reminded you are guests of Hilliard Davidson Athletic Program and our football team. Please do not enter the field as you will be asked to return to the bleachers. Field access passes are available in the athletic department only. Our athletes recognize that judgment calls are made in good faith, and they must abide by the decisions of the officials. Spectators can support their interscholastic program by refraining from derogatory remarks or cheering. We hope that you enjoy this contest and support your athletes in a positive and sportsmanlike manner. Fans, tonight's contest between Hilliard Davidson High School and Hilliard Darby High School has been designated as a featured game in the nationwide 2025 Great American Rivalry Series.
It's week 4 of the high school football season. You have a chance to get caught up with what is happening with your favorite high school team by watching FNR Scores on Fox 28 tonight right after the game. It is sponsored by D.R. Horton. D.R. Horton, of course, America's builder. 42 seconds left, quarter number 1. Darby answers the Davidson score with a lengthy drive, and we're now tied at 7 here in our Toyota Friday Night Rivals matchup. We have another great rivalry game coming up for you next week. The Battle of Hard Road. The Hard Road Trophy will be up for grabs. Worthington, Kilbourne, and Dublin Scioto. It's been a great start to the season for Scioto. They've struggled the last few years, but Coach Place has them off to a good start this season. Here's the kick, fielded at about the 10-yard line, and coming out with a decent return for Davidson and being thrown down shy of the 30-yard line for the Davidson return team that time. Coming up with the return for the Wildcats was Marcus Theaw, the senior return man. And the Davidson offense will come back onto the field with 36 seconds left here in the quarter. We were talking about that Canal-Winchester game that they lost by the score of 23-21. And Jeremy Scally, when we talked earlier in the week, Jeff, he spent a lot of time talking about that game, about how it played itself out. They might have played their best quarter of the season, jumping out to a 21-0 advantage over a very good Canal-Winchester team. And then before you know it, he said, it's almost as if we threw it into neutral and just thought we could cruise the rest of the way. First down and 10, the ball at the 26. De Blasio will keep, finds some running room, and gets out across the 30 to the 31-yard line.
Saving tackle by Braylon Griffith, the middle linebacker for the Darby Panthers.
Is that not unexpected, but out of a senior team, sometimes does that happen?
Yeah. Well, how many times does a coach sit there and tell you it's 0-0? Don't look at the scoreboard.
Right.
But it's really hard to convince your football team that they can't take their foot off the gas. But what happened with Canal-Winchester is, they had a late drive at the end of the second quarter, made it 21-7. Then they got the ball first to start the second half, and what happens? They score right again, and all of a sudden, momentum went in favor of Canal.
Quarter number 2 coming up in Hilliard. Darby Davidson, level at 7 on Toyota's Friday Night Rivals. High school football, a Central Ohio tradition, as is Toyota Friday Night Rivals, presented by D.R. Horton, America's Builder, along with Ohio State Hall of Fame running back Jeff Logan, Kellyanne Stitz on the sideline, Jason Van Hoos, the best stat man in the business. I'm Marty Bannister. Happy to have you with us here. We're a week away, Jeff, from week 5.
It's hard to believe.
It is remarkable, isn't it?
You want to talk about our intern that's here tonight?
Well, see, I'm always happy because I get to work with a legend each and every week with you, and then the next week when you're out, we get another legend into the booth as the great Clay Hall will step in.
Absolutely, and Clay is here scouting tonight. What a legend he has, just recently retired. I'm heading to San Diego next week, folks. I'm going to be officiating a wedding for my nephew. Honored to do so and looking forward to that opportunity, and Clay will slip right in and have a bunch of fun here.
Josh de Blasio on the carry, kept it out to the 33-yard line. Yeah, I mean, legends every week. It's just...
well, it's you. It's you.
Yeah,
you attract it.
I attract something, but I don't know if it's legends. Third down and 3 call coming up as we play here at quarter number 2.
Just leave that alone.
That's why you are a legend. Schmidt coming near side of the handoff, and a good job of fighting through the tackle attempt, racing up for the Darby defense was Quentin Bomer, the 6'3", 205-pound sophomore. Had him around the waist, but there you see some of the strength of Dane Schmidt. He turned nothing into something right there, got out to the 39.
Just really good effort, good job of taking care of the football, and again, making people miss right there. Come up, you got a safety that's going to slow you down, but there's no way you're going to let one guy take you down if you're going to run with the power of this young man.
Half dozen on the gain and a first down for Davidson. The first down sponsored by our friends at Classic Exteriors. Theo on the carry for, check it, that was Caden Wyndham getting the call that time for Davidson, working to the right side.
Keeping an eye on these new starters in those offensive line positions right here. Good shot from the back of the end zone. And you can see here, good tackle. You got the safety coming up there to try and make the play. That's Cedric Holman for the Darby Panthers. But again, getting that start at that tackle position, Griffin Fraker, 6'4", 278-pound sophomore. My goodness, what's he going to grow into? And then on the other side, Liam Dalton moved out to the right tackle position, and Oliver Huff has moved into that right guard.
Second down and 7. A couple of minutes into quarter number 2. Schmidt right up the middle of the field, near the midfield stripe where he is submarine to the turf. Picked up 8 yards and good enough for another Davidson first down.
Talk about that offensive line and how important that is to the running game. That center, Abe Swathwood, watch in the middle of the fray there. He is moving people out. This guy, watch from the end zone, and you can see the push up front. 67, Abe Swathwood, moving people out. He was honored before the game tonight with a Scholar Athlete Award, and we will later see that he will get recognition from CW Columbus as a Scholar Athlete. But there's a young man that is absolutely terrific. He's got a freshman brother on the team, 6'3", 261, just waiting for his opportunity.
Dylan Santagaday on the stop for Darby. This is de Blasio calling his own number. That's a design play. He took a pretty good shot as he turned into the hole and got across the 45 down to the 44-yard line.
Saw him grab his helmet there.
Yeah.
It looked like he got dazed a little bit, but he's coming over to the sideline to get the play directly from the offensive coordinator. Physical game out there tonight. Rivalry games are going to be that way. And one thing that you can always count on in this game in Hilliard, and throw Bradley in there too, is it's always going to be hard hitting and it's always going to be clean.
Ball at the 44-yard line, second down and 4. De Blasio is also a very good baseball player. That might be his best sport. Here is Schmidt, finds another gap, and like his first touchdown run, he gets through it this time to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and is shoved out of bounds inside the 5. That rumble puts him in the Valley Ford of Columbus red zone. Valley Ford of Columbus, where great deals meet even greater service. First and goal, Hilliard Davidson.
Yeah, Cedric Holman with a touchdown-saving stop there. Very similar to the long run they had earlier, and you can see again, number 0, Dane Schmidt, going north and south. Had to slow down a little bit, and that is truly a touchdown-saving tackle. The numbers by this young man just into the second quarter tonight have been spectacular. Already a long touchdown run, and they've got it first and goal at the 6.
43-yard scamper right there. How about that average per carry? 4 attempts, 93 yards, and a touchdown. Davidson knocking on the door again. De Blasio, a little hesitation, and is grabbed around the waist and thrown down right around the line of scrimmage. Might have been able to dive ahead. Dayton Wallace, a 6'2", 290-pound junior tackle, was in to slow down the Davidson quarterback. Mentioned this series between these two in favor of Davidson, 12-6. It's interesting, the first win by Darby in this series came the year after Davidson won their first state championship, the first game of the next season, which kind of, I think, really ignited this rivalry. It was the first time the two had met. And this has been one of the better rivalries across Central Ohio all throughout the years. 2nd and goal now, the ball at the 5 of Darby. De Blasio, they'll run a little counter action themselves. The ball back to Schmidt, and he's just going to trot into the end zone easily. Touchdown. There wasn't a white shirt anywhere near him, and he almost just decided, I'm just going to take a little stroll to the end zone and get us in there easily from 5 out. 2nd touchdown of the night for Dane Schmidt.
That was a bold move by Dane Schmidt. I don't know that I would have jaunted that quietly into the end zone, but you can see on the reverse play they had a lot of motion going with the early, and this is just jogging into the corner. And I tell you what, you show up the defense, they're going to come back and they're going to hit you harder. But a good 2nd touchdown by this young man tonight.
Well, we talked earlier about Jeremy Scally saying sometimes we go in cruise control or we go into neutral, and he cruised into the end zone there. Absolutely. Here's Avery Browning on to try the extra point. The kick is up, and the kick is good. That touchdown again, another D.R. Horton touchdown. D.R. Horton is, of course, America's builder. 14-7, the lead for Hilliard Davidson. Quarter number 2 in this Battle of Hilliard on Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
When it comes to SUVs, more people count on RAV4.
Year after year, this is the best-selling SUV in America.
Toyota RAV4 is so versatile, you've got room for all your stuff.
So you can go back in the woods or out on the town.
This RAV4 is a hybrid EV. It can go over 560 miles without stopping for gas or to recharge.
Get a new 25 RAV4 with 4.75 APR financing.
Or lease a gas-powered RAV4 for $299 a month with 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Toyota, let's go places.
Coming up at halftime tonight, they are back. Yes, your favorite furry mascot friends are back to compete in the one and only Mascot Challenge. It is sponsored by our great friends at Safe Light Auto Glass. 14-7. Davidson leads Darby here tonight. Avery Browning will get set to boot the football away. Huffman to the near side for the Darby return team. Torrey Jackson Jr. to the far side of the field. Browning with the kick. And this will be Jackson fielding it on the run at the 15-yard line. Has a nice little return put together here out across the 30. And Darby comes back onto the field for the football, with the football here in quarter number 2. Down by a touchdown to the sidelines again. Here's Kellyanne Stitz.
Hey guys, I'm joined by a special guest, head coach for the girls track and field team, Matt Beatty. Matt, you guys ran the table last year, district champs, OCC champs, regional champs, and then won the first ever state championship in girls track and field at Davidson. How exciting was it to bring that title back here?
Oh, it was great. It was a great thing for the community, great thing for the girls. Track's a little bit more unique where all 3 high schools, we all kind of collaborate, and to have this for the whole community, but especially for Davidson to bring it home, it's been awesome. This marks our 50th year of girls track, and to start the season as defending champs, couldn't think of anything better.
Your team is about to get honored here during a big rivalry game against Darby. What does that recognition mean?
Oh, it means everything. This is everybody in the city's here. As you look around, it's how football should be. Having a rivalry with Darby and then be recognized, Davidson state champs against Darby, couldn't ask for another spot to do it in.
Thank you so much for your time, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Guys?
Kellyanne, thank you very much. I have a chance every year to call those state track and field championships. You want to talk about a packed stadium for track and it's remarkable, the turnout for those events, and congratulations to the Davidson team running to the state championship. That's as competitive an event as you will see on the OHSAA calendar. Braylon Griffith just ran 11 yards for a Darby first down. And here is Marsh to throw, and a good toss to the far side. Huffman with the catch, and he speeds into Davidson territory. Still on the go across the 45, and goes inside the 40, inside the 35-yard line. And Darby with a first down.
That's the first completion tonight for Darby, with de Blasio throwing the football. They did have one with a halfback pass, but 1 for 2 throwing the ball tonight for the Darby Panthers.
Picks up 22 yards and a first down.
Yeah, delivered on target out there in the flat. Easy to take advantage of it. And yards after catch. So important.
Absolutely, Jeff. First down sponsored by Classic Exterior. 6:37 to go here in the second quarter. Davidson leading 14-7, but Darby moving right back down the field. Handoff goes to Cornegay. Hesitates, accelerates, and rolls to the end zone. Touchdown, Darby. Cohen Cornegay waited for that hole to open, saw it, and then just ran right through it into the end zone. Touchdown, Darby.
Look familiar? That's a little bit like the runs we just saw on the other side with the blue team. And they're able to make that happen. And Cornegay, returning starter from a year ago, able to bust this one through. And look at the acceleration of this young man again. You're leaving what we call a string of pearls behind you. Just a bunch of guys grasping for air.
The 34-yard touchdown run is another D.R. Horton touchdown. America's Builder. The extra point attempt is on the way. And the extra point attempt ties the game at 14. It's been a good one here tonight as we played quarter number 2. Davidson and Darby tied at 14 on Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
To a truly remarkable young group of young women who made history this past spring. The Hilliard Davidson track and field team won the Division I 2025 state team title. The team is led by head coach Matt Beatty and has been named the OAT-CCC Ohio 2025 Girls Track and Field Coach of the Year. The girls' assistants Clay Giuliano, Kate King, Brad McKinley, Ryan Alshire, Matt Fox, Chad Johnson, and Betty Cameron. Through months of dedication, the weight room, and off-season lifting.
Don't miss the Middlefield Bank play of the game in the fourth quarter of tonight's matchup. Middlefield Bank, your everything bank. They have 6 locations all across Central Ohio. 14-14. We've already got some pretty good plays to look at as our play of the game in tonight's game.
No question about it. Now, you could have convinced me that this would be a 10-7 game, like they normally are when these two get together. But, again, a wild affair with both teams running the ball very effectively. Now, Kellyanne Stitz did a great job down there interviewing the coach of the state champion winning girls track team. But Kellyanne, I'm watching down there now. They're talking about them. These girls have massive state championship rings that they're wearing. We need a close-up. We need a close-up of my goodness. They look great down there, and those rings are awesome.
I hear you, Jeff, and we will deliver. I'm with my fabulous photographer, Tim Flaherty, and we will make sure that we go get that because I love a good ring shot.
Oh,
a
what a
national
surprise.
Championship from Ohio State, those rings were great. I'm sure over there, they're probably looking pretty good, too.
Yeah, you and bling kind of go together, right?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Do the kids still call it bling? Is it still bling?
It's to me, it is bling.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there's a better
probably have to ask,
name for that.
Probably have to ask Kellyanne about that. She's probably more hip than either you or I. So, congratulations to that Davidson track and field team on an impressive performance in the state track and field championships this year, just across the way at Ohio State's Jesse Owens Memorial Track and Field Stadium. 14-14 as these two meet. Next week for Darby, they will take on Grove City, while for Davidson it gets no easier. They play Marysville. Then the week after that, they have a team that I think a lot of people are looking at as perhaps Central Ohio's best Division I team. That's Olentangy Orange. They're getting severely tested tonight. Here's Schmidt on the kick return. 30 out to the 35, to the 40. There's a flag down. In fact, there's 2 flags down. And now Schmidt is down, shy of the midfield stripe. The 2 flags are back behind the return at about the 26-yard line.
Boy, you saw Schmidt kind of change his gears back there, and he did a really good job setting that up for his blockers. But somebody got a little too aggressive.
Holding. Number 30 of the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
That look at the flag brought to you by the United States Army. Uncover your potential in the United States Army. Davidson's offense averages 226 yards a game. They're outscoring their opponents 23-10 through the first 3 games of the season. The Darby defense allows 16 points a game, and they have outscored their opponents 24-16. We mentioned that Canal-Winchester game as kind of a game that Jeremy Scally's kind of looked back at for this Davidson team. For Darby, the win over Bradley. Brad Birchfield said earlier in the week, and remember, this is the guy who's won 3 state championships. He called that one of the bigger wins he and his staff have ever had.
Boy, look at the penalty here. They had the ball at the 50-yard line to start this drive, and now because of the hold, they're going to bring it back from the point of the spot of the foul, 15 yards, back to the 15-yard line to start this drive. So effectively, Marty, a 35-yard penalty against Davidson.
Good look at Brad Birchfield there a moment ago. Yeah, he felt that win over Bradley might have been one of the biggest wins he and his staff have ever had. Here's de Blasio throw the passes. Might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. Rushing in was Logan Kruner. Speaking of the bling that Jeff was talking about a moment ago, well, here they are.
I love track. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
I love track and field. I love championships. And
look at that.
Ladies and gentlemen, they will remember that forever. Look at that. That is beautiful. Congratulations, ladies.
Jeff, I have acquired the bling for you, as you guys see. I don't know if I want to give this back to Coach.
I don't think you should. That is gorgeous.
He knows where to find me, though.
I was going to say, I'd like to see you get out of here with it. Huh? Second down and 10. De Blasio hit as he went to throw. The ball pops loose. Is it a fumble? Did the beanbag come out?
It did. Beanbags everywhere, and looked like good heads-up play by number 71, Griffin Fraker, who was the surprise starter at that left tackle position. He was there quickly to be able to help recover. See where the pressure comes from. The backside, there was a blitz, and untouched was number 11. That's our boy Logan Kruner, who we talked about at the beginning, the game wrecker. And that's exactly what happened there.
Fraker and the quarterback, de Blasio, were able to recover the loose football. So the ball moved back to the 7-yard line. It's a loss of 8, so a 3rd and 18. And now a timeout by Davidson.
Timeout.
5:24 to go.
That is their first.
This timeout sponsored by the Ohio State Highway Patrol.
Fans, let's take a second here. A special Wildcat thank you to members of the Hilliard Davidson.
During the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we will be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. What a great shot right there of the great atmosphere and the stadium here tonight at Hilliard Davidson. Wildcats coming off of an 8-5 season last year, won a couple of games in the playoffs, lost to Wayne 31-7 in the regional semifinals. One of their better performances of late in the postseason. They had struggled a bit in the OHSA football playoffs, but nice run last year by Jeremy Scally's team. Darby last year, the final go-around under John Santagata, went 1-9. They finished in 5th place in the OCC Cardinal and did not qualify for the playoffs. 3rd and 18. Ball back to the 7. Schmidt joins de Blasio in the backfield. De Blasio will throw with a foot on the goal line and was trying to hit Caden Wyndham out at the 26-yard line. The pass sails over his head, and that brings up a 4th down.
Yeah, it would have been good enough for a first down, but good protection. Is there a flag?
Yes, there is at the 10. Middle of the field.
Ball just sailed high on the quarterback. Here's the call.
Ineligible downfield. Offense, number 66. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So it would have come back regardless.
Again, that's one of the movements over there. We've had 2 right tackles that are not starting tonight that are normally there. And that's a sophomore out there getting downfield on a running play, or excuse me, on a pass play.
Noah Wellman not getting the start tonight. Lucas Benner not starting tonight for this Davidson offense.
Got a shot of Lucas on the sidelines down there. He's got a boot on, so we hadn't heard whether or not it was an injury situation or something else.
Josh de Blasio on to punt the football away. Jeremy Scally says his ability at punter allows them sometimes to flip the field. This one, he's just trying to get out of harm's way on the run with the kick. And not a bad kick right there. It will angle to the far side and take a bit of a Davidson bounce. Line of scrimmage was the 7-yard line. The punt will wobble to a halt at the 42, so it's a 35-yard kick with no return. But Darby will start in plus territory as they come back onto the field in a 14-14 game at the 5:09 mark here of quarter number 2.
There's our injured player down there on the sidelines without the helmet on. That's Lucas Benner, a 6'3", 251-pound senior been a couple-year starter at that left tackle position. You know, that left tackle position, Marty, as you well know, is so critical to a right-handed quarterback because that is the protection of his blind side, and he is in a boot tonight, which is putting him in a situation. He get a good look at the boot on that right ankle. Well, everybody's got sexy legs down there tonight, but you can see the boot over there. Those braces that you see there on the other players, there's the boot, are protective devices for those offensive linemen.
Darby will go with the strong formation to the left as Marsh takes the snap. It's Cornegay on the handoff and bounces off the pile and has the sideline. 30, 25, just shoves a man out of the way inside the 20 and picks up a Darby first down. Line of scrimmage, the 42. And down the sideline he goes. And again, nothing real fancy about this play, just great effort by Cornegay, able to avoid one defender, but it's coming back.
Number 63, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
One of the guards, Noah Marshall.
The poor offensive linemen only get their name mentioned when they make a mistake. We try and look for those good plays out there too, guys, and that is a negative play, and Brad Birchfield over there got to really like the way that his team, for the most part, has been executing tonight.
Remember, this was a Darby program that won just one game last year, and that wasn't until week number 9 when they beat Thomas Worthington. But John Santagata, I mean, you were talking earlier when we met with Coach Birchfield down on the turf. John Santagata is a Hall of Fame coach.
No question.
He had a tremendous career here. And racing back into Davidson territory on the handoff is Braylon Griffith, the junior fullback. And he gets to the 42-yard line.
Well, John Santagata got his start here back in 2008 and coached all the way through 2024. As you watch this play again, good job of getting the ball going north and south, and solid tackle up the middle. And good pressure by Zach Lance making the play. But Coach Santagata, his record, 113-68, 11 playoff appearances in his 17 years. And it's a shame that last year he goes 1-9. And I hope people don't remember that as being what John Santagata was all about.
Sprint handoff to the
goodness.
Running back Cornegay. He took a massive pop as he started to try to wiggle out of a tackle attempt. Forrest Griffin laid the lumber on him right there. And the play will end up losing a yard back to the 43.
Boy, that's a linebackers just wish that they could have the guy stood up in the middle without a whistle and watch number 4 come flying up here. And again, that is fundamentally solid. Did not lead with the helmet. We see so many times guys get these targeting calls and get ejected from games because they don't fundamentally do it the right way. And that time, that was perfect by Forrest Griffin.
3rd down and 11 call coming up. Ball back to the 43. Darby with the ball after the punt. They backed up Davidson near their own goal line, trying to take advantage of some good field position here. And we're going to have a timeout called.
Hilliard Darby. That is their second.
With 3:33 to go here in this second quarter. Both these teams in the Ohio Capital Conference. Darby resides in the Cardinal, and Davidson is a member of the Central Division of the Ohio Capital Conference. Coming up in just a few minutes, we will go down to Kellyanne Stitz for the Music Go Round Coach's Corner to hear from the coach whose team has the advantage. That will come your way as we reach the intermission of a 14-14 game right now. I guess Kellyanne will just have to flip a coin if the game's tied at 14.
Absolutely. She'll take closest coach.
There you go.
All right?
There you go.
Closest coach. Marty, you start thinking about Brad Birchfield and the success that he's had. You talked about state championships at Hartley High School. He never had the feeder program that a Davidson or a Darby program offers in a place like Hilliard. And he talked about the fact that that's one of the things that attracted him here because of the community support. And he wants to be that coach that goes to all of the middle school games and hands out the Gatorade. So he's getting down there meeting all the young people that are future Panthers who are going to be part of his football team. And that's what I think really interested him in a job over here.
3rd down and 11. Marsh to throw. Far side, and the pass is incomplete. Trying to hit Logan Crooner. Now a penalty flag comes down, and this will be a likely pass interference call against Davidson.
Well, I don't criticize the officials much, and maybe I'm wrong on this thing, but did not look. And again, there is no rule in high school football for uncatchable, all right? But there is common sense down there, too.
Pass interference. Defense, number 9. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Result of the penalty is a first down.
That's the corner and a senior, Bo Hulme, who gets hit with the pass interference call. Watch it here. Well, unless it happened back upfield a little ways. And
no, I can see there's contact there. There's no question about contact as he's going down the sideline. Was he actually out of bounds at the time that the contact happened? But again, the ball not even in the area. And again, in the true understanding of the rule, I get it that uncatchable is not a rule in high school football, but there is this thing called common sense.
Ball moved ahead to the 28. They'll toss to Cornegay to the edge and is drugged down from behind.
Ball's loose.
As the ball did pop loose. Bryce Abel in on the stop. Davidson may have come away with it. Waiting on the official call right now. It's Davidson football. Bryce Abel with the tackle, but a good job by that defense. Again, coming up with a huge play. Bradley Grace, a 5'10", 276-pound junior, looks to be the Davidson Wildcat who fell off the loose football.
Yeah, it looked like Cornegay was off to the races again, but you can see that ball coming loose, no question about it. And the Wildcats were the first on the scene, and they're able to get the ball with 3 minutes and 22 seconds remaining. What a huge turnover in this game, Marty. Saw the ball came loose well before his knee, and really coming up and making a nice play defensively.
That was Josh de Blasio in at defensive back.
That's your quarterback in there.
Not afraid to stick the helmet in there and make a big play.
Yeah, that's stay on the field, one. You got the ball, and again, with time, and they get the ball again to start the second half.
Ball's at their own 15-yard line, and de Blasio will call his own number. Tripped up as he started through the hole. As some beef along that front line for Darby in on the stop. Bring up a 2nd down and 8. Play gained a couple out to the 17-yard line. We talked about de Blasio's athletic ability, and that's one of the things that Jeremy Scally likes about that senior captain quarterback. Coming into the game with 94 yards rushing. Was a wideout last year and was the backup quarterback. Last season he caught 22 passes. Handoff. And this is Schmidt spinning his way out across the 25. And looks like he got enough for the Davidson first down out to the 26. It is good enough as he picks up 9 yards and a first down for the Davidson offense. Watch Schmidt come right at you here.
Boy, really good job of planting the foot and getting himself going straight up the field. Getting to that second level, that was one of the complaints, Marty, quite frankly, that I've had with the Ohio State football offensive scheme so far this year, is the running backs failing to take it to the next level. And you can see the numbers for Dane Schmidt, not Dylan Schmidt, but Dane Schmidt down there with having a pretty good night.
Already over the century mark at 106. And he is wrestled down in the backfield. Logan Kruner, one of our stars to watch in this one tonight with a big play defensively for the Darby defense. Kruner was a starter last season along this defensive line for the Darby team and has stepped up big time this season.
Davidson's got to be careful here. They don't want to give the ball back with time on the clock remaining for Darby.
There you saw Mark Solis a moment ago, one of the top assistants on Jeremy Scally's team. Long-time Central Ohio high school football coach, had a lot of success as a head football coach. Talked to him prior to the game. I said, how much do you enjoy being an assistant coach? He said, it's the greatest thing in the world. Here's a handoff to de Blasio rather keeps it himself after the fake handoff.
I'm surprised Darby not taking a timeout at this point.
After the loss, the play carried the ball back to the 25-yard line, so it'll be a 3rd down call coming up with the clock rolling. 75 seconds left here in this first half. 14-14, Davidson and Darby.
That's an RPO situation there with the quarterback, Josh de Blasio, run-pass option. He put the ball in the belly, reading what the defense has given him. And you can see Davidson kind of letting the clock run down. If you're not going to take a timeout over there, Coach Jeremy Scally says, we'll just let the clock run down. I'm shocked, quite frankly. Got Darby with 1 timeout remaining.
Timeout. Hilliard Davidson. That is their 2nd timeout.
So I think on a 3rd down situation like that, Marty, give stop, make them punt. Anything can happen.
Fans, we invite you to stick around at the half for the Kitchen Saver halftime show. You will be introduced to 2 of Central Ohio's finest scholar athletes from Hilliard Darby and Hilliard Davidson high schools. Also, scores from around Central Ohio is all coming up for you in the Kitchen Saver halftime show, which we are 48.8 seconds away from sending you to here tonight. Week 4 of the high school football season. We've been blessed every week so far with great weather, knock on wood, veneer, aluminum, whatever you want to knock on, do it to keep that weather going. Good look at Josh DeBlasio, the 6'2", 192-pound senior quarterback. Another thing we've seen him do a lot tonight is run the football, and that's what Jeremy Scally mentioned earlier in the week. He's probably more of a run threat than his brother Johnny was, who was more of a passing threat. And now Josh DeBlasio will throw, and a nice catch at the 35-yard line. And then being bumped out of bounds was the tight end, Bryce Abel. 6'2", 215-pound senior captain with a nice catch and gets out to the 40-yard line, and it is good enough for a first down. They needed 11 and got 12.
That is so uncharacteristic of this Davidson football team, throwing the ball on third down like that. I love it. Good transition there. Excellent job of faking in the backfield, holding that defense in check, and being able to hook up with the receiver. And again, 44 seconds remaining, and they've got one timeout, remaining in the first half.
Coming into the game, Josh DeBlasio was 20 of 43 passing for 209 yards and a score. Clock stopped out of the empty backfield in a clean pocket. He'll fire to the far side of the field. Wyndham makes the catch and then is thrown down inbounds across the 45 near the 47-yard line.
That's a mistake. You got to be aware of what's going on out there. Get that ball out of bounds, Caden.
Now the Davidson offense will call timeout. Jeremy Scally.
Spike the ball.
Okay, spike
the ball. Yeah. Save the timeout, it looks like.
Good job right there by DeBlasio. Jeremy Scally in his 6th year coaching at Hilliard Davidson. Was an assistant here for 14 years. And then when the Upper Arlington job opened up, he applied for that and got that, spent 1 year there. And then when the Davidson job opened up, he came back and has been here ever since. 3rd down and 2 after the spike of the football by DeBlasio. He'll turn and hand off, and with the carry that time into
clock will stop with 29 seconds remaining.
Marcus Theo on the carry that time quickly to the 45-yard line.
Spiked it again.
Stopping the clock one more time with 19 seconds left.
They're going to try and save that timeout for getting the field goal kicker on the game. You can see the move right up the middle. Again, great job by that offensive line, moving people off. Ryan McBain, the left guard over there, 6'2", 260 pounds. Talking to Jeremy Scally, just looking at his offensive line and looking at the size up there. And now you got to throw 2 sophomores in. And those guys are as big as the guys that were starting.
Wyndham and Theo have been doing a nice job of spelling Dane Schmidt in that backfield for Davidson. DeBlasio rolls to throw and goes far side. And speaking of Wyndham, makes the catch. And this time Jeff Logan does what he's supposed to. Steps out of bounds after making the catch inside the 35 to the 31-yard line.
A really good job of Josh DeBlasio finding that receiver open. And the defensive backs having to play a little bit soft. They don't want anything over top of them. But all of a sudden now with 14.7 seconds remaining, you've got the ball 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Now, from a field goal standpoint, we're still talking 49 yards for a kick. So you got to get the ball in a little bit closer.
Avery Browning's 1 of 2 this year on field goal attempts. His long, though, the one he made was 26 yards. So the flags come in now as they snap the football.
Miscommunication, 2 guys moving at the same time in that backfield.
Dead ball. Full start. Offense. Number 7. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Bo Bollinger telling us the penalty. And that look at the flag brought to you by the United States Army. Uncover your potential in the U.S. Army. They'll say Wyndham stepped out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Or the 32, rather. So the 5-yard on the penalty moves it back to the 37-yard line.
Plenty of time on the play clock, down to 10.
Jeff, he's a good target, Wyndham. 6'3", 193.
No question.
2 wides to the near side. They'll put Schmidt in motion. DeBlasio will look to throw and has a receiver in the middle of the field and cannot connect with Ibrahim Zalabani, who was running along the hash marks inside the 10 at about the 5. The incompletion stops the clock with 10 seconds left in the half.
Zalabani had a catch early in the football game. That time he's running just a seam route, trying to get himself upfield, and it looked like Josh DeBlasio did a pretty good job at delivering the ball in the area, but just overthrown.
2nd and 15 upcoming.
I like them taking shots in the end zone, though.
Through the air this season, Davidson averaging just 69 yards per game through the first 3. 10 seconds left. They put the tight end Abel in motion. De Blasio hit in the backfield and thrown down. There he is, Logan Kruner with a huge play as he came crashing in and brings down the quarterback for a loss.
Looks like they took their last time out there to stop the clock with 4.3 seconds remaining. And again, Kruner working his way around that right tackle.
Hilliard Davidson. That is the third and final timeout.
You know, Liam Dalton is over there now playing that right tackle. He's normally the starting right guard in this offense, but Noah Wellman not able to play tonight, so playing a position he is unfamiliar with. And Logan Kruner had his way.
We were referencing earlier how Darby coach Brad Birchfield talked about that win over Bradley's being one of the bigger ones that he's had, and he's had some very talented players in his long coaching career, and he puts Logan Kruner right in that group as being one of the best ones he's coached. Good look at the young man right there. 4 seconds left here in this quarter and in the half with a game tied at 14.
Well, what a tough league this OCC Central is that Jeremy Scalley's got himself into. You know, you've got the likes of Orange and Bradley and Kaufman and Liberty and Upper Arlington, you know, still on the schedule for these guys. 3 receivers, bottom of the screen. This will be the final play of the first half.
Barring a defensive penalty, 3rd and 23. There's the triad of receivers to the near side. De Blasio chased out of the pocket. Now a flag is down. He'll heave this one long downfield. It's tipped. Oh, it's caught on the tip. And into the end zone is Cade Wyndham. But let's see if it stands. There are 2 penalty flags, though, 3 back up field. Wyndham on the tip goes into the end zone.
This celebration's not going to last for long.
If it stands, it's a 46-yard scoring strike on the tip to Wyndham.
Boy, and de Blasio came up limping on the play. See what the calls are. Because there may have been some interference down below, you know, where the ball was being thrown. Offsetting penalties?
There's a penalty flag at the 12-yard line also.
We'd have an untimed down, I think, in that situation if we have offsetting penalties. We'll have to see what it is, but there could have been offensive pass interference down there as well, Marty, with all those guys down there pushing and shoving around. So we'll see what the officials have in mind.
Well, I tell you, how about Wyndham, though, being in the right place at the right time on the tip drill right there?
Yeah.
It was a heck of a play. And after Bo Bollinger tells us what's happened.
There are multiple fouls on the play against both teams. Holding, offense, number 66. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 71. Defensive pass interference, defense, number 16. Those penalties offset. We'll have 1 on time down.
That hardly seems fair that if you only had 1 and they had 2, then they're equal. They don't offset. They do the math. Let's see the late hit here on the quarterback. We missed it there, but
watch the tip here. Up into the air, and there is Wyndham. Oh,
my goodness.
Heck of a play. That's unfortunate.
That would have been a memorable play for the future, and those defensive backs back there have got to be talked to about batting the ball down. There's no reason you go up there and try and high point it. That's exactly what happens. That ball gets tipped. So protect your quarterback here. Josh de Blasio took a pretty good hit that time.
I'll give Bo Bollinger credit for remembering all the numbers on that.
No kidding.
As well, too. He crushed that. Last play of the half. De Blasio rolls to throw. He's going to try it again deep downfield, and this pass is now batted down out of the air. There's a big right-handed swipe at it over there by the Darby defensive back. That was Scott Van Vranken, who just reached up and slapped the ball to the turf, and that will do it for an entertaining first half of football tonight here at Hilliard Davidson. The Darby-Davidson renewal of their district rivalry. And the 2 teams make their way to the locker room in a game that's tied at 14 here at the intermission. Davidson and Darby both come into this game with 2-1 records on the season and getting ready for the start of divisional play next week in the OCC. Kellyanne Stitz is down on the sideline with Jeremy Scalley of Hilliard Davidson.
Coach Scalley, back and forth the game, a lot of big plays. How will you look to keep the momentum in your favor?
I just think simplicity. Like, let's not overcomplicate it, right? Toughness, turnovers, tackling. Let's just go reinforce that. Doing a lot of good in there along the way. It's just, remember I said earlier, things get magnified. The good gets magnified, the bad gets magnified. So just got to get in there, get calmed down, and get back to kind of some basic stuff, some fundamentals defensively, fundamentals offensively, and let's not overthink it.
A retooled offensive line that's helped pave the way for Schmidt to find the end zone twice. What did you like out of their performance in the first half?
This is the most consistent I feel like I've seen them in the first half so far. So just consistency, which is the name of the game. You know, Dane's going to make them all look good when you hand it to zero. So yeah, I just like how they're playing so far.
Thank you so much, and good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you.
Kellyanne, thank you. Coach Scally, thank you. 14-14 the score as we go to the half. Darby and Davidson. This is week number 4, Toyota Friday Night Rivals, presented by D.R. Horton.
Welcome into the Kitchen Saver halftime show. I'm Kellyanne Stitz. Right now, Davidson and Darby are tied 14-all. Every week, though, the CW Columbus is proud to recognize the Donatos Scholar Athlete of the Week. Tonight, we introduce you to Cameron Ledman from Hilliard Darby and Abraham Swathwood, who's currently playing on the field for Hilliard Davidson at center. Both of these athletes excelling in the classroom and on their respective playing fields.
Donatos proudly recognizes Central Ohio's Scholar Athletes of the Week. Cameron Ledman holds a 4.10 GPA, magna cum laude, Hilliard Darby. She's an accomplished volleyball player, also plays basketball and is active in choir, Panther Ambassadors, and the Special Olympics. Abraham Swathwood boasts a 4.58 GPA, multiple AP courses, and dual enrollment courses. At Hilliard Davidson, he letters in football and track and volunteers coaching youth in sports. Congratulations to these outstanding Donatos Scholar Athletes.
Congratulations to both of this week's Donatos Scholar Athletes of the Week. Now, these students are eligible to earn the Scholar Athlete of the Year contest with the CW Columbus, and they could win a $5,000 college scholarship. That's really cool. Not a bad deal at all. But now it's time for one of the most highly anticipated competitions in high school sports. Without further delay, let's get ready for the Safe Flight Mascot Challenge.
Welcome, everyone, to the Safe Light Mascot Challenge, right here on the CW Columbus. All right, then, let's meet the contestants. Jaguar, Bear, Cardinal, Dog, and Good Day Columbus's own Muggsy. This week's challenge, Tug of War, and it's the mighty Mug Muggsy taking on his mascot competitors. The action is intense as both try to gain an advantage. Muggsy's intensity is fierce. You can tell he really wants a win. The mascots are certainly all in for a win. This tug of war is at a stalemate as both sides continue to fight. The fans are completely blown away by the competition. No one is giving an inch. Who is going to pull off a victory? Muggsy lets go of the rope. Down go the mascots. This is clearly Muggsy getting payback for all the dirty tricks played on him. Oh my! Mascot carnage is everywhere as Muggsy gets the last laugh, which means this week's big winner are the fans. Congratulations, fans! You've truly witnessed history. Tune in next week for another exciting Safe Flight Mascot Challenge on the CW Columbus. No mascots were harmed in the making of this video.
Another entertaining edition of the Safe Flight Mascot Challenge. And we have a really exciting game here at Hilliard Davidson. Right now, Davidson is tied with their rival Darby 14-all. The Kitchen Saver halftime show will continue after this break.
here at the half. Darby and Davidson on Toyota Friday Night Rivals. It is week number 4 of the high school football season. A lot of action going on, some big games all around Central Ohio as we check scores from around week number 4. Good one here. 2 longtime Mid-State League rivals squaring off. Bloom Carroll and Amanda Clear Creek. And the Bulldogs hold a 3-0 lead over a school with one of the great nicknames, the Aces. Westerville Central has jumped out to a 17-0 lead over Dublin Jerome. Jerome coming off a big win over Dublin Kaufman last week. Hamilton Township blanking Fairfield Union at the intermission, or close to the intermission, at 21-0. The Rangers off to a good start this season. The Cruisers of Groveport Madison hold a 7-0 lead over the Newark Wildcats at the intermission. Elsewhere in the area, Hilliard Bradley 21, Marysville 7. That game in quarter number 2. Licking Valley, we'll see the Panthers a little later this year against Granville. They lead a good Heath team 20-7. That's in quarter number 2. Pickering and Central rolling on Logan 51-7. That game in the second quarter. Of course, we saw Central last week against Pickering to North. Olentangy 28-0 over Central Crossing. The Olentangy Braves suffered their first loss of the season last week. Pickering to North leads Dublin Kaufman at the half 21-0. Bishop Hartley 21. Watkins Memorial 0 in a non-league game here at week number 4 of this 2025 high school football season. 14-14 is our score here. There have been some big plays in this game tonight, but there have been some big plays all across the nation. We take a look at our highlights from across America.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals highlights from across the country.
Jackson's got to get something here. He got hit. The ball's on the ground. And you don't have any timeouts. They don't have any timeouts.
For the end zone. Caught! Flag! 17.9 to go. And
mistakes. But once they clear those up, West Seneca East is going to be a very good football team this year.
Extra point attempt and trying to get into the end zone for a 2-point attempt instead. After it was blocked, it was DJ Baker was the holder.
Forcing them to pass the ball. Deep down the field to Harden. Caught! Wow! Oh my goodness, did he actually come down with that?
Down over the checkeration. Strike up. The Silver Fox fights on. What a play call. This could be a penalty in the end zone, but that's an SCDC touchdown for the Silver Foxes.
Take us to the end here. Connor Kolka needing to convert for 2. And it is loose. Was it a catch and a fumble? State College is on the football. Yes! State College scores on the 2-point conversion. And Lustig scooped it up.
And taking one for the team, the player that fumbled there at that last highlight we had for you here at the half, Darby Davidson, tied at 14. Second half is coming up on Toyota Friday Night Rivals.
hands together for the official rock song of the state of Ohio, Hang On Sloopy!
We welcome you back to the intermission. Hilliard Darby, Hilliard Davidson. It's the Battle of Hilliard, at least two-thirds of it. Welcome back to the intermission. Our broadcast booth, he's Jeff, I'm Marty. And a first half where I think we're a little surprised the way this game played itself out so far, Jeff.
I wasn't expecting 28 points on the board, quite frankly, in the first half of this football game. 10-7 might have been more like it, but both teams were fueled by their running game, which comes as no surprise, and two guys who were very special, one for each side.
Let's take a look at some of those first half highlights, and you'll see exactly what Jeff was talking about, the way Davidson took the football early on in the game and went down the field. Dane Schmidt got it started.
Yeah, this is first of two touchdowns for Dane Schmidt. Just shot out of a cannon on this. His acceleration through the neutral zone and getting himself into the secondary was just terrific by him, and that was the first score of the game.
And then Darby got the ball back and doing what Davidson did, put it on the ground.
Yeah, here's Cornegay. He takes off and gets himself down the field, and this was extended by another 15 yards at the end of the play because of the late hit out of bounds. You saw the flag there, and Cornegay would go on to have two touchdowns in this game. Here's number one, takes it into the end zone, and he has been terrific. He has 106 yards rushing in the first half and two touchdowns.
And you had to like the way both teams were able to answer each other's scores, and here's that man Schmidt again.
Yeah, this looks familiar. Zero running right into your screen and really doing a terrific job. Takes it down inside the 5-yard line and ultimately takes the ball into the end zone. I'm not going to say he ran it in. He jaunted into the end zone for the second score for him.
The very definition of a saunter to the end zone for a score right there. But Hilliard Darby came right back, and here comes that man on their side, Cornegay.
Yep. Yeah, Cornegay did have a fumble in the first half that was kind of expensive as far as they're concerned. But again, coming back with that second run that was cool. Look at how close the total yards are in this game, 181 to 211, and the rushing, Marty, almost identical in this game.
What stood out for you? Just the way the game has been kind of played at an open pace offensively?
Yeah, I think so. And the fact that both teams have been willing to try a little bit of trickery in the game with some reverse, and they've also thrown the ball a little bit more than I expected them to, and they've thrown it effectively. And I think the quarterback that comes out and plays better in the second half, whether it's de Blasio or Marsh, that's going to be the determining factor in this game, because I think both teams have the ability to run the ball.
Both teams at 2-1. We're halfway to the end of this one with Darby and Davidson level at 14 on Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, brought to you by D.R. Horton.
Okay. Coach Birchfield, a back and forth battle, both run heavy offenses. What would you like to see out of your team the second half?
Well, they've hit a couple big plays, which you got to clean that up a little bit. But this is what we thought it would be. It's a tie game. Got to prove a lot of grit and resiliency and win it in the second half.
What was your message to the team at halftime?
Just that, we've been tied at the half at every game we've been in, and you got to find a way and get a couple stops and make a couple plays. I mean, it's football. It's a great night, and it's football.
Thank you so much, Coach Birchfield, and good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you,
guys.
$14-14 the score. We heard from Davidson coach Jeremy Scally as the Wildcats went to the locker room. As the Darby Panthers come back onto the field, Kellyanne Stitz is with Brad Birchfield.
Coach Birchfield, a back and forth battle, both run heavy offenses. What would you like to see out of your team the second half?
Well, they've hit a couple big plays, which you got to clean that up a little bit. But this is what we thought it would be. It's a tie game. Got to prove a lot of grit and resiliency and win it in the second half.
What was your message to the team at halftime?
Just that, we've been tied at the half at every game we've been in, and you got to find a way and get a couple stops and make a couple plays. I mean, it's football. It's a great night, and it's football.
Thank you so much, Coach Birchfield, and good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you,
guys.
Kellyanne, thank you very much. 14-14 our score. The Hilliard Darby High School Marching Band put on quite a show during the intermission. This look at their performance is sponsored by Music Go Round. Check out their locations at 2630 Bethel Road and inside the Stone Ridge Plaza in Gahanna. The Hilliard Darby High School Marching Band. All the pageantry of high school football includes the great performances by these marching bands. We're always happy to bring you the performances of both bands involved in our Toyota Friday Night Rivals. 14-14 as we get ready to start the second half. And Brad Birchfield talked about it. Every game they played this season has been tied at the intermission.
That's pretty unique.
Just like tonight, 14-14 as we get ready to start half number two.
Well, at least they're in comfortable area. They know what that's all about. They know what it is like, and I'm sure he's telling everybody it's 0-0, and I'm sure the same message by Jeremy Scally. We just got to start from scratch. This game is 0-0 at this stage, so it should be interesting to see. The only loss for Darby this year, 21-20, a loss to Lancaster, 2-1. Both teams 2-1 on the year.
And it was interesting. Brad Birchfield told us prior to the game, we were talking to him down on the field, and he said after that game, he called John Santagata, the former head coach at Darby. They're very good friends, and sometimes you don't see that when one coach replaces another. Opening kick will tell you more about it as we get the opportunity. Schmidt starts to jog upfield with the football and then accelerates out to the 35, near the 40 where he is brought down, and a good return by Dane Schmidt. So the Davidson offense will start with very good field position at their own 40-yard line here in the second half. Yeah, sometimes you don't see that where one coach replaces another and they still have a very good relationship. But as Brad Birchfield said, hey, we're good friends, and I reached out to him for some advice.
Yeah, he not only took his coaching job here, he took his teaching job, and understand John Santagata is teaching over at Watterson. By the way, a pretty good football team over at Watterson.
That's the rumor. That's the rumor.
We will see them later this year. The Battle of Watterson against DeSales on Friday Night Rivals, best of high school sports in Central Ohio.
Davidson with the football to start the second half. De Blasio will hand off. Schmidt, who had the big first half with a couple of scores, gets the first toe to the second half. He's at the 45, and he's just shoving people out of the way as he rumbles into Darby territory across the midfield stripe to the 45-yard line to pick up a 15 and a first down on the first carry of half number two.
Yeah, that's impressive by this young man. A couple of stiff arms. Watch how quickly he is able to get to the edge and then turn it upfield. He's got great acceleration. There is one stiff arm. There's a second one right to the face of number 4 coming up. That's Cedric Holman. Cedric Holman is spending a lot of time with Dane Schmidt, and there's his updated numbers through tonight. 7 carries for 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. Built into there are 2 long touchdown runs.
Came into the game with 304 yards on the season. Jeremy Scally said he's the hardest worker on our team. He is the type of running back that can eat up 10 to 15 yards per carry, and just picked up 15 right there. But penalty flag.
No, timeout.
Oh, check it. Timeout call.
It was really interesting. There was some signaling going on to the wing back. Looked like Bryce Abel was a little unsure of what the play was, and Jeremy Scally decided instead of having a negative play, let's go ahead and take a timeout. Wonder if that's going to be an expensive timeout, Marty, in a close ball game like this. You want to make sure you keep those as long as you possibly can.
During the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we will be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Running the ball has been a long-time staple of Davidson football teams, and last year they had a very good one at the tailback spot, along with the work that Dane Schmidt did last year. They had Kevin Gibbon back there last year. Exactly 200 carries, 1,424 yards, and 21 touchdowns. And Schmidt has picked up where Gibbon left off, and this is Wyndham, the receiver, coming on almost a jet sweep type motion and runs up the near side sideline. On a first down and 10 call at the 45-yard line. He gets 8 to the 37, a couple of yards shy of another Davidson first down.
He's a big body receiver. I understand this is a running play, but they really think this kid is a terrific receiver. So far this year, his receiving numbers, 8 catches for 67 yards. Not all tonight, that is for the season.
Jeremy Scally labels him one of our top playmakers, along with Dane Schmidt and Josh de Blasio. Schmidt, handoff across the 35. It has the first down. He is tripped airborne across the 35 to the Darby 33-yard line. Picks up 4 on the carry.
Don't know how much is left in the tank for number 0, Dane Schmidt, but let me tell you what, he might be that kind of player that gets better as the game goes on. He just wears down the other team. They love this kid's attitude, 100% in all of the time. He's prototypical of what they want a Davidson football player to be.
Hardest worker on the team in the weight room. And there he goes again. Again, this time just dragging people with him across the 25-yard line to the Darby 21, a gain of a dozen, and another first down. And he doesn't show any signs of being winded.
No, he doesn't. A lot of good sportsmanship here after the play as well. You can see the cornerback Scott Van Branken helping him up off the turf.
Another chunk gain for Dane Schmidt, and another first down for Davidson. Opening possession of half number 2.
Looks like Zalabani has single coverage, bottom of your screen, number 10.
Single wide to the top of the screen as well, too. That's a Buckeye State Bank first down. And short gain on this
de Blasio,
play.
Just
followed the football himself.
Followed his tailback right into the middle of the pile. Again, great job up there by the center, Abe Swathwood. Talked about him being recognized tonight as a scholar athlete with a 4.5 GPA. That ain't too bad. You know, the interesting thing about that young man is that he certainly could play college football at the level, but he is a world-class junior thrower of the shot put, the discus, and most especially the hammer.
Schmidt takes the handoff and again just continues to punish defenders as he gets inside the 15 to the Darby 12-yard line. Gain of 9, a yard shy of the first down.
Yeah, watch again the blocking by that offensive line, doing a pretty good job of creating opportunities. But again, I talk so much about being your own blocker and making people miss and dragging that pile with you, leaving that string of pearls.
I found it interesting. Jeremy Scally told Kellyanne Stitz right before the half, as he went to the locker room, he felt that first half, that might have been the most consistent his offensive line has played so far this season, and they've got 2 new starters up front tonight. They split the backfield. De Blasio will hand off inside, and this is Theall, the carry, and might have lost a yard back to the 14. In fact, it'll be a loss of 2 back to the 14-yard line. So a fourth down call up coming down. An interesting call for Jeremy Scally.
Yeah, you got a pretty solid kicker on your football team, but it does not look like they're going in that direction at all.
It will be a 4th and 2. They'll say the play lost a yard back to the 13.
Looks like they got to get it to the 10-yard line. If they break the plane at the 10-yard line, Marty, that should give them the first down.
Schmidt with de Blasio in the backfield. They put Abel, the tight end, in a slot just ahead of him. They'll put a man in motion. The handoff goes to de Blasio. And the ball pops loose on the field now. There was some confusion on the exchange. The ball pops free, and Darby gets the football.
That was the shovel pass, basically, is what happened. Or, my goodness, coming up with the ball. Number 55 for Darby.
That was Dayton Wallace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that little shovel toss right there. And it looks like the play was blown up by the ability to penetrate by the Darby defense.
Yeah, it wasn't a pass. It was a lateral.
Yeah.
So it'll go as a fumble. Though I'm not sure that Dane Schmidt ever had control of the football, but that's a live ball.
And credit Logan Kruner, Jeff, who got in there and blew that play up and forced the loose football to pop onto the field. We've been talking about him night long, and that was a huge play right there. Davidson was driving, and the Darby defense able to rise up and get the football back for their offense. First down and 10 at the 24-yard line. And again, the Davidson defense shows up and makes a big play right there across the front. That was Beckett Evans, one of the senior tackles, in on the stop.
Davidson came up holding the football, but no fumble called on the play. Good effort also by Zach Lance, number 24.
Play will officially lose a yard to the 23. There you see the...
Well, you're right. Beckett Evans had him from the get-go.
6'1", 226-pound senior for Jeremy Scalley's defense.
Dare I say he's a little undersized for that position? I mean, from what we have been seeing lately?
Yeah, I think it's pretty
he's
good.
a stud in there. I mean, he can really play.
They'll put Huffman in motion. And Huffman has the football, trying to get to the edge. And got out across the 25.
Well, these two teams mirror each other so much on what they
Don't
try
they?
and do offensively and defensively. All that action in the back of the backfield with all of the misdirection, the inside handoffs brought over from Hartley High School, but it does fit well into what Hilliard football has been all about.
Picked up a half dozen, did Huffman. So it's a 3rd down and 5 call as the ball's up to the 29-yard line. 6:35 to go here in this third quarter. After the turnover, the ball back to Hilliard Darby and trying to keep this drive alive. And they'll hand it off inside. Here's Cornegay just trying to fight his way ahead, but he won't make the first down. I guess, again, the Darby offensive line having some trouble with that front by the Davidson defense. Bradley Grace, the 5'10", 276-pound junior tackle, one of the first blue shirts to get there.
Aiden Butchie, the center, really a good one for the Darby Panthers. 6'1", 290-pound senior. They are big across that line. I mean, the average up there is about 285. And 4th down, and it does not look like they're going to punt the ball. Maybe a quick kick. We'll see what happens, but this is an interesting call by Brad Birchfield.
4th down and 2, down and 2, down and 2. They'll toss it to Cornegay, trying to weave his way through, and will be shoved back, and the ball pops free again. It's on the field again. Davidson has it. Davidson has the football. Cornegay trying to make something out of nothing there, and the ball was stripped free, and the Davidson defense comes up with a huge play as recovering the fumble, Cormac Snyder.
Boy, you get in these big games like this, and there are big plays that have to happen. Watch the strip here. That ball comes loose. We've had 2 drives end with turnovers. We only had 1 turnover in the first half. That was by Darby. And you can see here, ball just gets punched out. Ball security so critically important, and what a great positive position to be able to start this drive for the Davidson Wildcats.
So the teams on 4th downs exchange fumbles, and Davidson gets the ball at the Darby 30. De Blasio will dance back to throw, has a clean pocket, heaves it towards the end zone, and the pass is caught for a touchdown. In the end zone, leaping and grabbing the football for the score, Caden Wyndham with the touchdown, his first of the season. That's another D.R. Horton touchdown. D.R. Horton is America's builder from 30 yards out. Davidson takes the lead.
Boy, what a job by striking while you've got him down, and this is exactly what Jeremy Scalley had in mind. He loves this wide receiver, a big, tall guy with length, great wingspan. Caden Wyndham, 6'3" target Watch him high point this football. Just a terrific job. That's like a basketball rebound, Marty. Getting up there perfectly and concentrating on the football. And a passing touchdown for Josh de Blasio tonight. That's his second of the season.
On to try the extra point is Browning. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Davidson lead at 21-14. The conversion in congestion by Caden Wyndham on the touchdown catch. And Davidson has the lead here at quarter number 3 on Toyota Friday Night Rivals.
This is a Toyota Grand Highlander.
Toyota took the best-selling Highlander and made it bigger, more powerful, and more fuel efficient.
With your choice of 3 different powertrains, with a driving range of nearly 600 miles. And you gotta love the 12.3-inch touchscreen.
The big news is right back here, with over 20 cubic feet of cargo space.
Behind a full-size third row.
Lease a new 25 Highlander for $499 a month or get 4.75 APR financing on Grand Highlander.
Toyota, let's go places.
Friday Night Rivals presented by Toyota, and D.R. Horton lives up to its name. Next week, we will be at Dublin, Scioto for the annual Battle of Hard Road. It's Worthington-Kilbourne in Dublin, Scioto. Our pregame report kicks off at 5 o'clock on ABC6 with Kellyanne Stitz. And then Clay Hall slides into the color analyst seat next week. He joins me for the broadcast on the CW Columbus starting at 7 o'clock. Next Friday night, the Battle of Hard Road. That's an intense rivalry between those schools, both located on Hard Road in the northwest side of Columbus. And they've been going at one another for a long, long time in that very intense rivalry. That carries over to every sport. You talk to athletes who've gone on to play at other locations in college athletics, and they've played at either Kilbourne or Scioto, and you say, what about the Hard Road? Well, it's in volleyball. It's in basketball. It carries over.
That is interesting. Good job by both of those programs, and both of their football teams are on the, got a quick kick here.
Browning's kick to the far side of the field, out across the 20, and dancing ahead out across the 30-yard line is Jackson on the return, and Darby will come back onto the field. Thanks to the Kroger Great Lakes Distribution Center, tonight's game is coming to you live, streaming on ABC6's YouTube channel, the ABC6 Facebook page, the ABC6 News app, and on the CWColumbus.com. To the air goes Davidson to take the lead, 21-14 with 5:23 to go, quarter number 3. Let's see if Darby can answer.
Well, Cornegay has got those 2 touchdowns tonight, 15 carries for 109 yards, but Marty, ball security, 2 fumbles tonight for that young man. That's what you cannot have in a rivalry game.
Marsh rolling to throw, passes tipped at the line of scrimmage and falls incomplete. He had pressure that time as racing in for Davidson was the defensive end, the old school throwback with a big play. Jake Lawrence, the 6 foot, 205-pound senior.
Yeah, good job by him. Making him throw through what we call the picket fence. Watch him put his arms up here, and again, just totally deflects that ball, trying to get it out to their tight end, Logan Kruner. Yet to be able to have much effect on the offensive side, though we've seen him be a beast on the defensive side.
2nd down and 10 call, and Cornegay takes the handoff and is knocked down. This play just got back to the line of scrimmage. He was able to fall forward enough to keep it a 3rd down call upcoming. In fact, they're going to be generous and give him a yard out to the 34, so it is a 3rd down and 9. Cornegay last year ran for 304 yards. He's had a good start to the season. Well, after that Lancaster game where he carried the ball just 2 times for -1, he's been over the century mark now in 3 straight games. $136 in the win over Bradley. 169 yards for Brad Birchfield in last week's win over Euclid, and has gone over the 100-yard mark here tonight. Huffman will trot in motion. Backs on either side of the quarterback, March, and he'll throw, and then pass is caught by Huffman, evades one defender, gets across the 40, 45-yard line, and got enough for the Darby 1st down. Good job there by Huffman, a little extra effort. And he was able to navigate his way out to the 48 to pick up a 14 and a 1st down.
Yeah, a combination of a good job by Jackson Huffman and really poor tackling right here. You got to break down if you're coming up to make the play. Zach Lance from that cornerback position, usually much better at that. You can see him kind of reaching and grabbing. You got to make sure that everything goes okay. You can see there the ball did come loose, but the ground caused the fumble, so nothing that needs to be worried about.
Cornegay in the handoff, and he gets into Davidson territory from 148 to the other 48. He picks up 4 yards. Davidson Darby tonight, one of these district rivalries across Central Ohio. So much fun to be a part of these games. We mentioned prior to the kick tonight, a lot of tailgating going on. Heck, the Davidson fans are just happy to see their team play at home first time in 3 weeks.
Exactly.
Second down call upcoming. 2 wides to the bottom of your screen. Marsh will throw that way. The pass is caught to the near side, and a good catch and a nice move. Amir Alani with the catch and moves across the 40 to the Davidson 39-yard line. Good enough for a Darby first down.
This is an easy throw for the quarterback, Jonah Marsh, getting the ball out quickly. And again, questionable tackling again by the Hilliard Davidson secondary. Cormac Snyder coming up from the safety spot, trying to make the play at the point of attack, and you're going to have to do it with team. You got to do it with more than one guy. You can't leave a guy out on an island and expect him to make those plays every time.
That Darby first down sponsored by Buckeye State Bank. Huffman takes the handoff and is stuck as he tried to turn up at the hash mark.
Boy,
there was Forrest Griffin coming in. He's laid some pretty big pops tonight defensively, and that was a nice one right there.
He is so good at getting squared up on that running back and, not reaching with his arms, but making sure that he's fundamentally sound when he's coming up, getting that head and shoulders in there and make sure that he's grappling with both arms. And Jeremy Scally got to be proud of the way his defense is out there giving effort.
Second down and 9 with 2:28 to go here in the third quarter, rather. Marsh inside on the carry, on the handoff. That's Braylon Griffith, the fullback. And Griffith, who went for 118 yards last week against Euclid, carries inside the 30 to the 29-yard line, and that's good enough for another Darby first down.
I like the way that Jonah Marsh is carrying out his fakes there. A lot of play action, a lot of crisscrossing in the backfield that time, and it also looked like Jonah Marsh maybe even never handed the ball off. He was still showing like he was going to pass it, but that play was long gone.
Marsh will operate over center with a couple of backs behind him, and Griffith, again, the fullback, is bent backwards after a minimal gain.
Bring up second and about 8.
Dave Holmes, Beanie Wells, and Cardale Jones are your hosts for The Script. It's a new podcast that covers the Ohio State story with big opinions and real talk from real Buckeyes. New episodes every week. The Script, available now wherever you get your podcasts. Second down and 8. And penalty flags come in as Darby started this offensive play.
Dead ball. Full start. 11. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
We have 7.
Back to the 32-yard line, Jeff.
7 penalties in the first half. Fairly clean game from that standpoint, and both teams have made a couple of mental errors during the game, but this one getting the ball second and 8. Now you're second and 13.
1:20 to go in this quarter. Jeff, you were talking earlier about some of the sportsmanship we've seen in this game, and you mentioned it right at the top how these type of district rivalry games are all very clean type football games, and that in all 3 of the matchups, Bradley Davidson, Darby Bradley, that's the way these games are played, which I think adds to a lot of the fun and the intensity of the games. Here's a throw by Marsh rolling to the near side, trying to hit Al-Ani, and the throw was low and incomplete. But that's one of the trademarks of these games.
That's one of the things that makes this such a great rivalry, is that there is that kind of sportsmanship. Marsh only 1 for 2 passing in the first half, and that time really basically throwing the ball away, making sure that nobody was going to intercept that. But they've had some 3rd and long situations, Marty, in this game already, and they have had a knack for being able to create. And this is certainly 4-down territory for Brad Birchfield. The way he's been going for it on 4th downs.
Another 3rd down here, 3rd and long, 3rd and 13. We'll spread a couple of wides to the top of your screen. Marsh will throw. Cornegay makes the catch and is able to almost jump stop past the defender and stayed in bounds, got to the 26-yard line, still shy of the first down. Picked up a half dozen. And now, with 40 seconds left in a quarter, a 4th down upcoming, and another interesting play call here for Brad Birchfield.
Yeah, they got to get past the 20-yard line. They got to get into the red zone to be able to get the first down. Clock running down to about 15 seconds on the play clock, and the quarter running down to about 25.
There's an 11-second difference. Darby to the line of scrimmage. It's 4th and 7. Marsh over center. And a timeout is called. We are right below in our broadcast location. We can hear the Darby coaches calling for timeout. We'll step aside. 14 seconds left in the quarter. 7-point game. Davidson leads Darby on Toyota Friday Night Rivals.
Okay, fans, if you did purchase a ticket for the Quill, I have the winner right here. Pull out your Quill. Winning ticket number is 188884. Please report under the stands to pick up your Beat Darby Quill. The ticket number again, 188884. And thanks for your support.
Get caught up with what is happening with your favorite high school team. Watch FNR Scores on Fox 28 tonight after the game. Sponsored by D.R. Horton. D.R. Horton, America's builder. 4th and 7 for Darby at the Davidson 26 with 14 seconds left in the quarter. Marsh is back to throw. He fires over the middle. The pass is deflected and will fall incomplete. And the Davidson defense once again comes up with a stop, and they will get the football back.
Boy, what a good job up there. A lot of pressure. Throwing through that picket fence again, making sure you get your arms up, make it difficult for that quarterback to see. Let's see where it gets knocked down right at the line of scrimmage. Really a good job. It looked like might have been Jake Lawrence in there, or maybe Beckett Evans, Bradley Grace also at that defensive tackle position. Bottom line is, 4th down conversion, ball's turned over.
And that's one of the things, one of the traits that's taught to defensive linemen, isn't it, Jeff, that a lot of times when the play starts to break down, get the arms up into the air.
Absolutely. If you're going to be late to the dance to the quarterback, at least make it difficult for him to see downfield. Make him throw that ball over top.
Ball at the 26, their own 26, and here comes Dane Schmidt, and here he goes. 35, out near the 40, and is finally wrestled down on what will carries out to the 45. I thought for a moment that might be the last play of the quarter, but since it's a first down, the clock will stop and the chains will move. Dane Schmidt, 17 yards on the, 19 yards. Ball was at the 26, so he gets 19 that time out to the 45, and a good gain right there. And now the chains move, and the clock moves after the chains and the ball spotted, and that will take us to quarter number 4. It's been a good one tonight in this Battle of Hilliard, with Davidson leading Darby 21-14 as we go to quarter number 4 on Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, brought to you by D.R. Horton.
For the 2025 Wildcat football cheerleader, senior Alex Kim, senior Katie Kowalczyk, senior Jamie Lingenfelter, senior Lexi Marlowe, senior Allie Meeks, senior Maddie Oyster, junior Robert Garnett, junior Lily Hatfield, junior Reese Johnson, junior Isabella Lewis, junior Desi Morris, junior Leah Perez, junior Haley Sell, junior Violet Woodson, junior Bryn Wu, sophomore Ava Gassells, sophomore Laura Kim, and sophomore Natalie Becker. Wildcat cheerleaders are coached by Sherry Llewellyn, volunteer assistant coach Megan Rapp. How about a nice big round of applause for your Hilliard Davidson Wildcat cheerleaders. Reminder again, fans, there is no field access for spectators this evening. Please do not enter the field.
We welcome you back to Davidson High School in Hilliard. Marty Bannister, Jeff Logan, Kellyanne Stitz, Jason Van Hoos handling the numbers for us tonight. Dean Marini and our entire CW Columbus crew, we're happy to have you with us for Toyota Friday Night Rivals, week number 4. The Davidson defense just came up with a big stop. They get the football here to start quarter number 4. The classic exterior's first down is the play that starts quarter number 4. De Blasio rolls and has a receiver. That's the tight end Bryce Abel making the catch and is knocked down after carrying into Darby territory at the 47-yard line.
What a good job Josh de Blasio does of going through his check downs. He was first looking for that ball deep down the seam. It was double covered. That tells him immediately that his next check down was a drag pattern to the tight end, and perfectly running the route was Bryce Abel.
Gain of 8, second down and 2 for Davidson. Wildcats have won 5 of the last 7 meetings in this series. All time, 8 of the games have been decided by 10 points or less, and that's where we're at right now as de Blasio again rolls, throws, connects. Caden Wyndham with the catch. And then he steps out of bounds in front of his bench. There's a penalty flag down, though, middle of the field at the 44-yard line.
You know, because of the long touchdown throw that Caden Wyndham had earlier in this quarter, or in the third quarter, those defensive backs are having to respect his speed and size.
Ineligible downfield. Offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Center Abe Swathwood. A little too far downfield on the rollout pass play by de Blasio. Jeremy Scally, his 6th year at Hilliard Davidson, an Ohio State graduate. Just loves being the head football coach at Hilliard Davidson.
He really does.
He just loves that position. Schmidt on the handoff, and there he goes again. Watch out, 40, 35, 30, speeding past defenders, 20, 15, 10, 5, and he gets into the end zone, touchdown. Oh my goodness, Dane Schmidt, the hat trick tonight on 3 very impressive runs as he rumbles in from 47 yards out. That's another D.R. Horton touchdown. D.R. Horton, America's builder. Dane Schmidt getting to the Schmidt house again.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the girls might have won the state track championship, but the boys better get this guy on their track team. My goodness, his explosion is impressive. That is a really good defensive secondary. Now watch again. Just his heads up, being able to cut back across the grain, and now it is put the foot in the dirt and get yourself accelerating. And the toughest stiff arm I've seen in high school football this season so far, Marty.
That's a pretty strong finish to that as well, too. Browning on to try the extra point. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Avery Browning. Dane Schmidt. A big, big night running the football. He's coming right into your living room on Toyota Friday Night Rivals, presented by D.R. Horton.
When it comes to SUVs, more people count on RAV4.
Year after year, this is the best-selling SUV in America.
Toyota RAV4 is so versatile, you've got room for all your stuff.
So you can go back in the woods or out on the town.
This RAV4 is a hybrid EV. It can go over 560 miles without stopping for gas or to recharge.
Get a new 25 RAV4 with 4.75 APR financing.
Or lease a gas-powered RAV4 for $299 a month with 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Toyota, let's go places.
Well, as impressive as Dane Schmidt has been tonight, that's how impressive the Hilliard Davidson Marching Band was at the intermission. This sneak peek at the Hilliard Davidson Band is presented by Music Go Around. Check out their locations at 2630 Bethel Road and inside the Stone Ridge Plaza in Gahanna. Not only can Dane Schmidt carry the football, but those youngsters can carry a tune. Nice job by the Hilliard Davidson High School Band. And here's the kick. Huffman, far side, will start upfield with the football. 10, 15-yard line. Out across the 20. The ball pops loose in the field. And Darby may have recovered the fumble, no, but Davidson says it's theirs. We'll wait for the scrum to be settled here.
Or if they left it up to the players, nobody would be right. Right?
Davidson football. Davidson football.
Boy, what a killer the turnovers have been for Darby tonight. That's been the difference maker in the game. Not only the real turnovers that count that way, but a couple of fourth down failures to convert, which basically get treated the same way. Watch again, this ball cut comes loose, and everybody is trying to get on the ground and get that football. Another shot from our...
clearly a fumble.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That dog was loose for a long time.
Nice job by Gordon
Timeout.
Dickerson.
Hilliard Darby. That is their second.
In on special teams for Davidson. He's the one that wrapped up Huffman initially, and then his teammates arrived to force the football free. A timeout on the field by the Ohio State Highway Patrol. We appreciate their being a part of our broadcast here on our coverage of high school football. We're in the fourth quarter. Davidson has expanded their lead to 28-14. And Darby burning a timeout. Be a first down at 10 once play resumes. There you see some of the celebration going on the Davidson sideline. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Kellyanne Stitz.
Guys, last year Jackson Maynard scored a memorable touchdown for Hilliard Davidson, and since then he's graduated from a player to a coach. He was a senior last year on the team, and he has Duchenne muscular dystrophy and is wheelchair bound, but he came to Coach Scally in early August of this year and asked if he could be around the team still. Scally said yes, but you're not on the roster anymore. Now you're a coach. So he gifted him coaching gear, and he's on the sideline tonight encouraging his teammates. Coach Scally told him, as long as I'm the head coach here, you're always welcome on the team.
I tell you, I've called a lot of touchdowns in my broadcasting career, none more special than that one that young man scored last year. Just a phenomenal moment, and it really kind of puts everything in perspective for you. You hear that term used a lot, but that's certainly the case there. Schmidt on the handoff on first down and 10.
Well, I love the timeout taken that time by Brad Birchfield because of the momentum that flipped on that kick return there. He took his team over. They all took one knee, and he stood there like he was preaching to the choir. And I guarantee you the message to him is, we can't quit. Don't worry about it. We start from scratch right now, and we finish this game with pride. But I was impressed with not only the decision, but the attention of his football team to the message he was delivering.
Well, he has not won 201 games in his coaching career by mistake. I think that's pretty obvious right there. De Blasio to throw, and here's a ball batted down. This might be a free football.
No,
it's loose in the field.
This got to be incomplete.
Crooner was there, waiting for the official signal. I didn't see the beanbag come in.
No, there was incomplete marked by the line judge.
Well, let's see here. They haven't officially settled this yet. Two of our officials are coming together. Logan Crooner's been around the football all night long.
We'll try and get a look at it. And if he's throwing it backwards, if he's throwing it as a lateral, so here he is at the 31-yard line. And the receiver was at the
incomplete pass.
The receiver was about the 30.5-yard line, and so that is the correct call.
Third down.
And that ball really never even had a chance to go behind the line of scrimmage.
Great defensive play. And again, charging in there was Logan Crooner, the game wrecker. Watch this. He's up there, does his job, but there is no question this was an attempted forward pass. But a good job by the officials getting together and making sure they get it right.
Crooner knocked the ball away and then actually fell on it as it rolled back upfield. Third down and 9. We are 2 minutes into this fourth quarter. Davidson with a 2-touchdown advantage. The play fake. De Blasio's rolling to throw. Will launch upfield. Oh, what a catch in traffic. And breaking free is Wyndham. And he dives towards the pylon. Gets in. Touchdown.
Wow.
How about the effort by Wyndham? The catch in congestion, and then he turns up the sideline and dives to the pylon and scores. Watch this. This was something else right here. There have been some big plays in this game tonight, and this ranked right up there with him.
Boy, delivering the ball on time and on target. This is such a good throw that the concentration of Wyndham is perfect. Did not step out of bounds, and watch him reach for the pylon. Excellent job by that young man. What a big target. They love that he has 2 touchdowns now tonight. The long pass down the middle, and that one with the yards after catch, taking it into the end zone. And just like that, a 14-14 game. Looks like it's going to 35-14 following this extra point try.
25 yards on the touchdown reception, but the yards after catch so big. Avery Browning's extra point attempt is up, and it is good. And as Jeff Logan mentioned, 35-14, 21 unanswered by Hilliard Davidson, and they have opened up some breathing room in this district battle. They lead Darby with 9:54 to go. So often when you play a game of this intensity, turnovers can turn the momentum, and they have done it in this game, and great plays by the Davidson defense.
Yeah, no question about it. And, as much as we were surprised to see a 14-14 game at halftime, I'm equally surprised to see one team just be on fire. But part of that is they caught the spark because of the turnovers. Quarterback Josh de Blasio tonight, 8 out of 15 throwing the ball for 140 yards for 2 TDs. Is that any good? I mean, he came into tonight with only 200 yards passing in the first 3 games.
And his receivers helping him out a lot. Caden Wyndham with 2 big catches. That one in the end zone on that leaping grab, and then that yards after catch touchdown reception just a moment ago. Helped out by the 3 scoring runs by Dane Schmidt. And Darby trails 35-14. Here is Browning's kick. Huffman backpedaling into the end zone. Bobbles, drops, but the ball's coming out to the 20 as he was into the end zone.
I've got to share one of my favorite Davidson stories.
Please do.
Many years ago, Brian White asked me to come speak to the team at the kickoff of their season. And, they'd won state championships, so they never threw the football, right? And he introduced his coaching staff, and he introduced his brand-new wide receiver coach that they just hired. I forget who it was. But I got up to speak to the team, and I thought...
Dead ball, encroachment, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
I get up and I say, excuse me, you came to Davidson to be the wide receiver coach? Different time, different place. I said, you're going to be lucky to get 1 pass thrown to your receivers. He says, yes, but we're going to teach them how to block. And that's what Brian White wanted them to do, was block downfield.
Well, I mean, come on. You played for a guy who thought the forward pass was like taking a drink of sour milk.
Exactly. Woody Hayes did not believe much in throwing the ball. You throw it, 3 things can happen, 2 of them are bad, right?
Davidson will get set to kick the football away again. And I think you were talking a moment ago about Brad Birchfield calling his team over and just kind of settling everybody down, or trying to, and then they cough the football up, and now they're down by 21 points. That's the culture, though, that he's trying to build now at Darby. I mean, he knows how to win football games, and certainly Jeremy Scally has proven that he could do that for Davidson. But when you're trying to turn around a program that went 1-9 last year, you have to continue to coach, continue to reinforce all of that, don't you?
Absolutely. And this is not a program that is used to 1-9 by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't think you'll ever see Hilliard Darby go back to that kind of performance. But, boy, they are in a tough Division II in the OCC.
The kick by Browning. And this will be Huffman again at the 5, trying to find, or check it, this is Jackson now coming to the 20-yard line, trying to reverse the field, and goes down. They're just really was not anywhere for him to go. And lucky a flag wasn't thrown there. Now it does come in. There's a little extra shove there afterwards. So Jackson, with a little push after the play had come to a conclusion. Let's look at the penalty brought to you by our friends at the United States Army.
Yeah, they don't want to lose their composure. that doesn't sit well with Coach Birchfield either.
After the play, personal foul. Receiving team, number 18. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
When you're trying to rally back into a game, one of the last things you need is to be starting in the shadow of your own goal line, and that's where Darby will start this drive. The ball's moved back to the 11-yard line after the penalty.
Guess who's talking to who?
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Now, again, this isn't a in-your-face yell at you. This is a learning opportunity, and Coach Birchfield's over there doing the best job that he can to coach that young man up.
Good running room for Cornegay, and he breaks free out across the 25-yard line, and a good carry, a pickup of a first down for Colin Cornegay. He's had a big night toting the football tonight for this Darby offense. He gets out across the 30 to the 32-yard line, picks up 21 yards.
Yeah, Cornegay has been special, but again, the two fumbles that he's had tonight have been very costly for his football team. See if he takes care of the ball here. Again, when you start getting that pressure, you got to get two hands on that football. Make sure you take care of it.
Clock rolling with 9:20 to go in the game. There's a good look at that Darby coaching staff.
Cornegay went off the field limping a little bit. Looked like it might have been a cramping situation.
Of course, at this point of the season, we have seen as the ball's on the field again, but it's recovered by Darby as they were trying to get a little toss to the outside going to Torrey Jackson that time, and he was able to fall back on the football. We've seen a number of players come up cramping in these early games.
Ball a little bit late or behind the tailback as he was trying to go for the pitch out there, and see a couple different players working their way into the lineup.
One of the things that has been so interesting over the years in watching what Brad Birchfield has done, Jeff, the quarterback is such a key part of their offense, the things they like to do with the football. And he mentioned how he likes Jonah Marsh, and he feels he's eventually going to come around. But you can see things like on that last play where with what he has to do, a converted quarterback, it's still taking some time to kind of figure it all out.
Absolutely. It's going to be very difficult. Cornegay, the ball carrier on that play, but once again blowing things up is Giovanni Barr, the senior. If you look at Cornegay's numbers, 18 carries for 130. Those are winning numbers when you look at that. There's no question about it. But unfortunately, he's spit the bit a couple times tonight with the fumbles.
Good to see him back in the game after he walked off a couple of plays ago. Under 8 to go in this one tonight. What was a 14-all game at the half has been taken over by Davidson here in the second half of the game. Marsh spins, hands off Cornegay, evading defenders and gets across the 30. Line of scrimmage was the 28.
I don't know if we've seen Darby punt the football yet tonight.
We have not.
I didn't think so. They've gone for it on every fourth down, and this is not going to be the case when it's 35-14. I want you to think about the coaches that Brad Birchfield has taken over for. And we talked about Santagata, but back at Hartley, when he took over that program, that was Dick Geyer, right? That he took over for. And you talk about a legendary coach.
Davidson. That is their second timeout.
Davidson burns a timeout with 7:17 to go.
But Marty, look at that. I mean, think of the responsibility of taking over two historic programs. And every time he has stepped in, he has created his own success. But certainly has gone to two very successful programs.
And Jeremy Scally stepped in for a pretty good one as well, too, here at Davidson. Well, what's the old line? You want to be the guy to follow the guy who followed the guy. But both of these coaches have stepped in, and certainly Jeremy Scally has done that here at Davidson. And I think Brad Birchfield well on his way to doing that at Darby, of establishing their own culture with these programs. 7:17 to go in this one. Davidson leading 35-14 with this stop in the action at the 7:17 mark.
Marty, you got to be excited about tomorrow, about being able to call football game in Ohio Stadium, right? For Ohio Bobcats.
Looking forward to it.
I think that'll be exciting. And the Bobcats have done a terrific job this season getting off to really a tough schedule. They started by going to Rutgers, playing a Power 4 team. Then you get West Virginia at home, you beat them, and now you got kind of like getting in the ring with Mike Tyson, right? I mean, the Ohio State Buckeyes, a formidable opponent. But Parker Navarro, I think, is the difference maker in this game. If Parker Navarro can play a little bit, then I think he has the opportunity to be able to make this a game that Ohio State will have to pay attention to.
Well, Jeff, speaking of the game tomorrow, it is the Battle of Ohio as the Bobcats and Buckeyes will battle out at the Horseshoe. The Football Fever on ABC6 is the perfect play to get you ready for kickoff. Watch The Football Fever tomorrow morning at 11, only on ABC6. Do you want me to tell you my story that won't make you very happy?
I'm here.
Last time I called a game that Ohio State was ranked number 1 in, I was filling in for the great Paul Keels back in 2010. Ohio State lost that game.
To?
Wisconsin.
Oh, my goodness.
Handoff inside. This is Schmidt turning, backing, and falling out to the 40-yard line, or near the 40. They'll mark it down at the 39.
As good as you are, you did not have an impact in that game. They did that all on their own. They did that all on their own.
In this type of situation, you look for every advantage you can find.
I understand.
I think Ohio State fans will be very impressed with what they see out of the Ohio Bobcats tomorrow. Yeah. It's a team that, as you mentioned, 1-1 going in after the split with Rutgers and West Virginia, should really be 2-0 going into that one tomorrow. There's Schmidt's numbers. Look at that. He's over the 200-yard mark tonight. It'll be a fun one to be back in the Horseshoe tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Toss to Schmidt, looking, waiting for something to open up, and is dropped in the backfield. Nice job of penetration by the corner, Scott Van Franken, who did a nice job of watching Schmidt, and the moment he started to accelerate, went low and dropped him. We approach the halfway mark of this fourth quarter. It's interesting the loyalties and how they're divided in this. Of course, Kellyanne Stitz, our crack sideline reporter, is a proud Ohio University graduate. Aren't you, Kellyanne?
The E.W. Scripps School of Journalism. I love the Bobcats, but tomorrow it's going to be go Bands for me. I just hope it's competitive in the first half. To me, that's a win for OU. But Marty, as you and I were just talking about before the game, this is a confident bunch of Bobcats coming into the shoe trying to take down Goliath.
Schmidt carries out to the 39.
Well, the OU alums and fans have come out of the woodwork this week, and I love it.
They haven't come out of the woodwork. No, they've been around for a long time.
Yeah, but they're pretty quiet. They're pretty quiet. And I love the cheer that is when Ohio University comes to play in Ohio Stadium. I love the cheer when it goes OH, and we're doing the OHIO around the stadium, because as soon as you hear the OH, the Ohio fans, they yell out, "Oh yeah."
Exactly.
And that's them. Ohio, oh yeah. OH, oh yeah.
OU, oh yeah. That's the way it goes.
It's
absolutely.
Pretty cool stuff. And punt formation now for Davidson.
Under 5 to go in the game. 35-14. Davidson with the advantage. Jeremy Scally's team looking to go to 3-1. Their first home game of the season. And a delay of game coming up.
What the heck?
Dead ball. Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
Were they listening to our conversation? What the heck, guys? You haven't punted much in this game, but my goodness.
That's why you haven't punted in this game.
Yeah.
So Davidson will try it again. The Davidson program, we referenced it in the open, the oldest of the 3 schools in this district, and they have a great tradition, 2 state championships back in 2006 and 2009. And what's interesting, you look back at those 2 title games, I'll tell you more after the de Blasio punt. Spiraling kick that will angle out of bounds to the near side of the field. They won both of those state championship games by 1 point.
Isn't that something?
Beat Mentor 36-35, and then in 2009 beat Cleveland Glenville 16-15. Doesn't matter by how many, just how.
Doesn't make any difference. You talk about the state championship rings we saw earlier tonight for the Hilliard Davidson girls track team from last year. Think of those rings that those guys have won and gals of state championships. They can never take that away from you. You win those things, doesn't matter by how many. That's something you can always be proud of.
Darby with the football, first down and 10. And they have it at their own 45-yard line with 4:46 to go in this one here tonight. Marsh will hand off. Here's Cornegay. His big night continues as he spins into Davidson territory. And carries to the 47-yard line. Picks up 8. Second down and 2 coming up.
Nice to see that continued effort there by the Darby Panthers offensive line, creating an opportunity for Cohen Cornegay to be able to excel at that running back spot. Bright future for that young man, Marty, just a junior. Some impressive numbers tonight, just needs to work on ball security.
They'll again run that little counter-type play, and this is Braylon Griffith, the fullback, after Cornegay took the ball and started to the right. Griffith ran right in front of him, and Cornegay stuck it in his belly, and he picks up the first down as he gets out across the 45-yard line. The way that this district works, and this, again, referencing Coach Birchfield at Darby, one of the other reasons he took the job, and you talked about the advantage to go out and watch the 8th grades and 7th grades and the feeder programs, the pipeline is very strong at Darby, and he's very happy about what he knows is coming right now. Handoff goes on the sweep to the far side. That's Amir Alani on the carry. And Darby continuing to push the ball up the field. The Darby 7th grade group, undefeated. The 8th grade group may be one of the best they've had.
Wow.
And the freshman class is very strong as well, too.
Well, and there's not many seniors on this roster. So, they're going to look to the future with some of those young people.
Cornegay to the
There's your
30-yard line.
Team tackling that we talk about. So, Marty, for our Ohio University fans that are around tomorrow for the game, if they want to listen to...
Am I allowed to mention that?
Yes, we are. Absolutely.
Am I allowed to mention
but
that?
If they want to listen to your call of the game, where can they find it in Central Ohio?
Well, there is the local Ohio affiliate, Fox 920.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. And thank you for allowing me to mention that.
Who cares if we're allowed to?
oh, my goodness. Maybe it's a good thing you are leaving next week.
Yeah, maybe so. But
outside goes Cornegay.
I've worked with Marty for a lot of years. We go back 30, 40 years of games together, and I'm really proud of the job that you're doing for Ohio University down there, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's a fun place to be and a fun place to work, and I know the folks down there are excited about this opportunity tomorrow because it really a game like that, it's an opportunity to show off where your program is at, win or lose tomorrow, and obviously they want to win, but we all know that it's not an easy thing to do. And Ohio State hasn't lost to an Ohio school since, I think, the Woodrow Wilson administration. There's a handoff to Cornegay trying to get to the outside, and again finds just a lot of guys wearing blue. There's Forrest Griffin again, the 6', 200-pound senior, the heart and soul of this Davidson defense, and he has been around the football night long.
Yep, I think it was 1906 against Oberlin.
The Yeoman, huh?
Just for is that what they are?
The Yeoman,
Come
yes,
on.
That's right. The Yeoman.
I like that.
And wasn't it just a couple of years prior to that, Ohio State had beaten them like 128-0. So the Yeomen were kind of primed for a fight. Cornegay to the far side is bent backwards. 90 seconds to go in this one.
You didn't call that game, did you?
We've had a lot of big plays and a lot of big defensive stops in this game tonight. We'll take a look at our school bus stop of the game. Always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Not stopping or trying to beat the stop arm puts lives at risk and can result in large fines, points on your license, and license suspension.
This is the school bus stop of the game. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
4th and 7 for Darby. At the Davidson 26 with 14 seconds left in the quarter. March is back to throw. He fires over the middle. The pass is deflected and will fall incomplete. And the Davidson defense once again comes up with a stop, and they will get the football back. 4th and 7 for Darby. At the Davidson 26 with 14 seconds left in the quarter. March is back to throw. He fires over the middle. The pass is deflected and will fall incomplete. And the Davidson defense once again comes up with a stop, and they will get the football back.
This is the school bus stop of the game. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
And Jake Lawrence had his arm out and deflected the pass. That was our stop of the game, and that was a huge part of this game as the momentum really started to shift after that. And since then, Davidson has taken charge with under a minute to go, and they are on their way to their 3rd win of the season and their first home game of the 2025 campaign. Jeremy Scally's team is going to take this one here tonight, but they had to earn it this evening. Hilliard Darby showed up tonight, and the Darby Panthers will see their record drop to 2 up and 2 down. Here's the Middlefield Bank play of the game. Middlefield Bank, your everything bank, with 6 locations in Central Ohio. As much as we thought the game would be decided through the running game, it was some of the big plays through the air, and the touchdown catch by Caden Wyndham, one of the big plays and our play of the game in tonight's victory, the Middlefield Banking Company play of the game. Watch the yards after catch and then the dive to the pylon for 6. And that will do it tonight here at Hilliard Davidson as the Wildcats knock off the Panthers 35-14 with the victory. Hilliard Davidson goes to 3-1. Hilliard Darby sees their record level out at 2 up and 2 down. Offenses were big in this one tonight. Davidson with, you hear the term complimentary football a lot, and Davidson able to get it done both on the ground, through the air, and with their defense tonight. I think the very definition, Jeff Logan, of complimentary football tonight.
No doubt about it. And, we talked about the turnovers being big in the game, but you've got to convert points off of turnover to really make the other team pay. And that's exactly what happened for the Hilliard Davidson Wildcats. They took advantage of the situation and made Darby pay.
35-14 is our final in week number 4 of Toyota's Friday Night Rivals. See the teams exchanging handshakes after this one tonight. The presentation of the orb is upcoming here momentarily.
I didn't even see the Brinks truck come in tonight to deliver the orb.
Well, they want to keep that on the down low, on,
really?
On the DL, as everybody says.
Okay,
you don't want anybody to get to the orb. And here's a really nice moment of sportsmanship as we look down on the field. We talked about the young man from Hilliard Davidson with the Duchenne's syndrome. Look at the Darby players.
Yeah, getting recognition.
That's just tremendous right there.
That's outstanding.
Just tremendous. As hard fought as these rivalry games can be sometimes, and as intense as they can be, boy, you really love to see something like that.
Look at the smile. I love that. That's the best. If we look at the stats on tonight's game, almost 400 yards of total offense for Hilliard Davidson compared to almost 300 yards. Very close. But the difference in this game is that 3 on the left-hand side of your screen compared to no turnovers and points off of turnover. Rushing almost dead even. Both Cornegay and Dane Schmidt. Big nights tonight for them. And I thought Josh DeBlasio, I told you at halftime, the quarterback that came out and played better in the second half was going to be the difference maker in this game, and Josh DeBlasio was that guy.
Either cashing in on the turnovers or using those turnovers as stops of Darby drives. No question, big parts of this football game tonight. Again, Davidson wins it by the count of 35-14 here this evening at Hilliard Davidson. 3-1 now, the Davidson mark, and Darby sees their record go to 2-2. Down to the winning side of the field, Hilliard Davidson head coach Jeremy Scally and his team with Kelly Ann Stitz.
Hey, guys, I'm joined by Coach Scally and a bunch of happy Wildcats right here. A bunch of turnovers to turn the momentum, big plays. Your guys really showed up tonight against your rival. How proud are you of their effort?
Yeah, awesome effort. It's one of our core values. We learned a hard lesson earlier in the season about, not playing things to the last play and not finishing. That was a hard pill to swallow. I was hoping that it was going to, propel us and teach us moving forward. And at least for tonight, I feel like that tough lesson was maybe rewarded tonight.
Where did you see your team take a step forward after tonight?
Honestly, it was earlier in the week at practice is where I saw it. We've been in this process of it's taken me longer than I wanted it to, of like really trying to morph this group into becoming a team and understanding like what it takes to be a team. We're getting there. We're not there yet, in my opinion. But tonight is certainly like a massive step forward.
What does this win mean to you, Coach, and your family? He was the first one to run out on the field to congratulate you.
Third born, but the first on the field.
What does this win mean tonight for you guys in the community?
It validates, for me, like it just validates the effort and the time that these guys pour in. They do a lot of ugly stuff over in that weight room at 5:45 in the morning when no one's there to see it. So when the lights come on, it's just cool that they get a chance to be rewarded, and that hard work and effort is still time tested. It's still undefeated, and it's just I'm just so happy for them more than anything.
Really quick, one of the guys that had a huge effort on the field tonight. 3 touchdowns for you, Dane. Are you tired at all, my guy? coming out there?
A lot of fun. We played as a team and we played together.
How proud are you of your team's effort tonight?
I'm very proud. I mean, we had it all on the field tonight. We wanted to win Hilliard, and we did. One step away, beating Bradley soon. Let's go, boys.
Congratulations.
I love, though, I'm not tired at all.
Yeah.
The focus was already on the game with Bradley to try and win a Hilliard, according to Dane Schmidt. Big night for that young man and for the Davidson Wildcats, who win it again by the final 35-14. That's a wrap for this edition of Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by D.R. Horton. We will be back next Friday after CW Columbus at 7 o'clock when Worthington Kilbourne heads to Dublin Scioto for the Battle of Hard Road. On behalf of Jeff Logan, Kellyanne Stitch, Jason Van Hoos, Dean Marini, and our entire CW crew, I'm Marty Bannister. Once again, our final score tonight, Hilliard Davidson 35, Hilliard Darby 14. So long from Hilliard, everyone.
Tonight's broadcast of Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by D.R. Horton, is sponsored by these businesses: